watching the game, breaking down film, and because I played and coached for a long time, I love breaking down film. And I've had a couple people reach out and say, "Hey, do you want to possibly do a live and stuff during the game?" And I struggle to do that. I struggle to do it because I rewind too much.
Yeah,
I see something, I got to go back.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like if a sack happened, I want to see what was the breakdown. And so I always find myself completely late in ending games. And that's why if I want to jump on and do some post game stuff, I'm probably not going to jump on and do some post game stuff until probably 3 hours after, because I rewind way too much. And so, but that's just me. And so that's why I love jumping on here. And I definitely want to talk to you guys about kind of not only the game itself, but just kind of how do we all feel about the roster and how it stands, because preseason is a little different now. It depends on, sometimes we see more starters, right? Aiden O'Connell, Gardner Minshew, they got 2 quarters. We saw, Max Crosby, I think he only got that first drive, unfortunately. But we're going to see some more starters, because we were just talking offline. You only have 3 preseason games to kind of evaluate this entire roster, which is tough. That's tough to do. And so, especially when you start out with 90 plus and you got to get down to 53, that's a lot of film. That's a lot of players. You got to try to get into the rotation to really see what you got. And so we're going to get into it, but salute to everybody that's in the chat so far. Billy Davis, what's good, man? Appreciate you. D Menace, appreciate you rolling through. But first and foremost, let's kind of get into it. Obviously, came up short on the last second field goal. Before we get into the players and stuff, what's your guys' thoughts? What's your guys' thoughts on the new kickoff rule? We had Daniel Carlson look like he was trying some new things. He shot one over the landing zone, and then he tried to squib kick one a little bit, and then it came up short, which was a penalty. So I think the Vikings got it on the 40-yard line, which that's tough. That's hell of a field position, for kicking out of that landing zone. So, Chris, I'll go to you first. Kind of, what's your thoughts on the new kickoff rule now that we've seen probably a handful of games so far in the preseason?
Yeah, I to be honest, I actually like the kickoff. I know a lot of people are kind of indifferent about it. Because I think there's more strategy to it now. So, like, it really makes special team kickoff strategic. Like, stuff that we're seeing right now is probably not going to be stuff we're going to see later on. I guarantee there's going to be a lot of wrinkles that we're going to see later on in the season. There may be some stuff that we may not see until the playoffs type thing. I think so I like anything that can bring more strategy to the game of football. I like the fact that it forces teams to take special teams serious. You can't just have a Sebastian Janikowski and just kick it out of the end zone anymore. Like, now you got to really, and luckily we got one of the best kickers in the league, so we got a guy that can strategically place it certain places, so it helps us. But long story short, I'm good with it, and I'm excited to see how it's gonna grow.
Yeah, I concur with the kickoff rule itself. I like it. I think it adds a different element to the game. It kind of forces teams to essentially, they have to put the ball in the field of play. It gives, it puts a premium on teams that actually use a roster spot or returners. The only aspect I don't like about it is I don't like the onside kick rule.
Yeah.
I don't like the onside
Yeah.
kick. So if they did this whole landing zone thing and making it punitive if you kick it through the end zone or if you kick it short, like I like all that. I'm good with all that. But just the aspect of, you have to announce you're doing the onside kick, you can't do it until the fourth quarter, and you have to be losing. Like, what if I'm losing by like 3 tuds in the third? Like, I can't, try an onside kick then to surprise them and try to, so I don't like that aspect of it. But from what we've seen so far, it's different. It's weird. I'm not used to seeing it. But like I said, it puts the ball in play a lot more. We're going to see a lot more return touchdowns just by virtue of there being a lot more actual returns.
I think it was cool because I think it was McAllister, one of the backup running backs.
Yeah.
That guy took one off the near sideline. So he got loose a little bit, and I'm still waiting to see someone kind of break, right? Special teams coaches are going to keep things very basic in the preseason. They're going to try out a couple things here and there, but it's going to be very basic. Chris, to your point, I do think we're going to see probably some crazy things as time goes on. They're going to get real creative. I don't know. I'll be honest. I don't know what the rules are behind where you place guys on the kick return. Yeah. And so, and how guys can release. I understand that as soon as the returner touches the football, then the kick return team can take off. But based on the kickoff team can take off, but the kick return team, how can they move? Is there restrictions on how they can move and how they could cross and stuff like that? Because I think it can get very, very interesting. And I'm excited to see just kind of how it plays out. But one thing that I thought about, and this is just kind of the coach in me just thinking outside the box, right? What's your guys' opinion on, obviously you got Daniel Carlson, one of the best field goal kickers in the league, and you no longer need a guy that can just boot it to the back of the end zone.
Right.
If we start to see some returns, if you start to see guys actually getting through some creases and breaking it, thoughts on actually finding an additional defensive player to kind of kick off that football, knowing that you just got to place it into that. I mean, when looking at the sky view, right, he's got to kick it, 40 yards?
Yeah.
If you start to see some returns, if returners are actually getting some yards, possibly putting another defender to kick off that football, and now you got that 11th defender just to be sure. Again, that's if we really start to see some kickoff returns, and because that's the biggest thing, right? Kickers aren't supposed to tackle; they're not supposed to make a stop. So I'd be curious because, man, it looked like Daniel Carlson was starting to try to he was trying to do some different things.
Yeah. You know what? I'm glad you asked that. Me personally, as someone that I played rugby for 2 years in high school, I wouldn't be surprised if we start, well, not us, but even the league. I think some people's already kind of doing it. I wouldn't be surprised if we start finding teams looking at rugby players to kick that ball. Honestly, I know it sounds crazy right now, but in rugby, kicking is a big part of it. Being able to place the ball in different places, that's part of the offensive attack. I wouldn't be surprised if like you said, if it happens where guys are just getting through that line, and then you just have that last guy of defense, which is a kicker. You may want to go look at someone that's more defensive savvy, maybe someone that played rugby that's used to making open field tackles. To me, it makes a lot of sense. I'd be looking at, some guys overseas in New Zealand or Wales and stuff like that. Give me a guy that can put it in that landing zone.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, you're onto something, man.
I mean, the biggest thing is, look, Daniel Carlson, he's going to hit any spot on the field. He could do it, but if we start to see some returns, if all of a sudden kickoff returns for touchdowns start to increase like crazy, you might want to put that 11th defender on the field. But Severe, what's your take on it?
Yeah, man, I agree. And there were already teams that were starting to look at some of these rugby players. I think the 49ers just signed a guy that was like a star rugby player. We've seen some other guys in the past. I just think that it's a slippery slope, just because if you don't land inside that landing zone, it becomes very punitive.
Yep.
It's very
you're damn near at the 50.
Yeah, exactly. You're at the 40-yard line, or if you kick it through the end zone, you're at the 30. So, like, field position, we already know that football field position is at a premium. You don't want to lose potentially 10 to 15 yards. And so the way some of these guys were tackling, like, guys were getting the ball at the 22, 23-yard line. So you can lose almost damn near 20 yards of field position just with the bad kick. So the teams may look to invest, because we already invest into special teams, core guys that just play special teams. So maybe that's like a specialty inside of that, where you start to look for these guys like, hey, this guy, we know this guy can kick. We don't want to put our kicker at risk, because the truth of the matter is they don't do a lot, but kickers are some of the most valuable players on your team, because if it comes down to a field goal, like, you want the guy that does it for a living out there kicking it. So but like Chris said, I think teams will start to invest into that. position or find those specialty guys that can kick and that are, like for lack of a better word, more expendable than your actual true field goal kicker.
100%. And I know special teams is the third of the game. We want to talk about all day, all night, but at the same time, let's get into the fun stuff, right?
Yeah.
You got Raider Kojo. He's starting it off pretty clean. So what do you guys think about the QBs? I have Aiden ahead of Minshew so far. All right. So let's bring this out. The only thing I'll start with is I think it was as much as Antonio Pierce said that each quarterback was going to get a quarter, and it looked like that's what happened. Unfortunately, it looked like Aiden O'Connell really only got one full drive versus Minshew's. I think he got 3 drives in that second quarter. And so it was a little tough because not sure if Aiden O'Connell got the same amount of playing time. But Chris, I'll hand it off to you first. What's your thoughts? Who won the battle today?
So I will say that I think, I definitely think that, to me, Gardner won the battle for today. But I will say Aiden played well. I also will say that that AOC's sample size was very small. However, the things that I knew Gardner would do better, he definitely did better. Like, he was able to escape sacks and escaped pressure in the backfield and third downs, whereas AOC took a sack. Just little things like that. But I'm not gonna say that AOC played bad. I will say that I need to see more. Can I sit here and say that things really changed in my mind personally? No, because I already had Gardner ahead of Aiden anyway, by a slight margin. And I still have him there. I mean, I don't think either player did anything to really expand it. But I will say that today shows me again that once the lights are on and there's live bullets, that's when Gardner Minshew plays his best. I mean, this is the only second time he had the scrimmage, he played well. Live bullets today, he played well. I mean, that's what I expect from him. I'm excited to see next game when he gets the reps with the first team. I'm excited to see what happens.
Severe, I'll hand it off to you, but just real quick, one thing that I saw was when you talk about a leader, when you talk about someone that kind of mirrors the defense's energy, you saw that with Gardner Minshew today.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew was, he was live on the sideline. He was stoked. Maybe the camera angle just isn't going to Aiden O'Connell, at that time. But, he kind of, as much as Aiden O'Connell's drive, it was very methodical. He moved it down perfectly. It was great. He was able to move a little bit in the pocket. He extended the play a little bit. But you just kind of saw the spark with Minshew. That's the hard part, right?
That's what he does. That's him. I mean, that's literally him. And honestly, and even that last drive where we had to settle for the field goal, we're talking about a matter of inches. That the defensive player just made a great play on that screen play. But if I'm telling you, if that ball was 3 inches to the left or 3 inches higher or 3 inches to the right, where the guy couldn't swat it down, the guys, our running backs getting 20, 25 yards at least, and then we could possibly score the touchdown. So, but again, those are things that you can clean up in practice. That's all, as a coach, those are things that you can clean up, the first film study you have. So I'm just excited to see what happens. I'm not going to be one of these fans that's going super in one way or another. I've always had I've always had Gardner, the top guy to me. Nothing's changed.
Severe, go for it.
Yeah, much to Chris's point, depending on who you had winning going into this battle, you likely have the same guy winning coming out of today. And everything else is basically status quo, right? I think the player that had the highest highs was Gardner Minshew. I think, this team forever has struggled scoring in the red zone. And he was able to get into the red zone and put touchdowns on the board, not settle for field goals. And unfortunately, in Aiden's opportunity in the red zone, he did the opposite. It wasn't completely his fault. You know, he took that bad sack from Andres Pete, but you know, that Andres Pete just like that's a whole nother.
We're gonna
We'll
get
get there.
We're gonna get into that. Trust me.
But yeah, man, as you said, man, like, you know, as you alluded to, that Gardner carries himself like the leader of a unit, right? He carries himself like a leader of a team. He has that charisma. He has that je ne sais quoi. And you said, hey, you know what? You saw him on the sideline. You said maybe the camera just didn't go to Aiden. But what you realize is that the camera goes to where the energy is at.
Let's
right?
go. That's what I'm talking about,
If
Severe.
Aiden was
100%,
doing
yeah.
that, if Aiden was doing it, it would have. I like, this is the biggest story out of Raiders football right now, right? Who's going to win the quarterback battle? So if Aiden was over there hyping the guys up or doing all this stuff, like the camera's going to find them. They're going to go there, but he's not that kind of guy. As I said before, I think both these guys have the talent of, you know, upper echelon backup quarterbacks, you know, maybe spot starter type guys. But Minshew has the intangibles of a starting quarterback. In Minshew's mind, he's 6'5", 230, runs a 4.6. You know, like he has a rocket
arm over that
like,
mountain.
And that stuff will carry you. Like, you know, sometimes when you have that type of belief and you know, like, that you'll play above your ability. Now sometimes that gets you in trouble too, and we've seen it get, and you know, Gardner Minshew in trouble in the past, but a lot of times when you carry yourself with that kind of confidence and swagger, it's infectious, and other guys start to feel, hey, they get to feeling themselves too, and then everybody's playing with that swagger and that confidence, and everybody's playing well. We see it on the defensive side of the ball, with Max Crosby. Right now, in terms of talent, you know, I don't want to compare Gardner Minshew to Max Crosby, but Max Crosby's energy, his swagger, all that stuff is infectious. And you see how the defense is playing. And we went from the beginning of last year, our biggest question mark was, what was our defense going to be, to now, just a year later, expecting to have a top 10 defense and possibly a top 5 defense.
So this is where it's going to be tough, right? Because again, we talked about Aiden O'Connell. He had a small sample size. I think he had basically like maybe 1.5 drives, if that. And so it's going to be a competition. I think it's going to be a competition probably all the way to going into week 1, going into Los Angeles, because look, Gardner Minshew gave a spark. The hard part about preseason is we can see that there were still some starters on our side, but I don't know exactly which starters were on the Viking side at that time. I wasn't 100% sure. So it's hard. It's hard to truly understand how well is Gardner Minshew doing. But Gardner Minshew also kind of showed us flashes of what he does as well when he got Harrison Bryant laid out. That was a tough one. Those are the ones you just kind of throw away a little bit. You know, he does try to extend plays. You want him to take those calculated risks. You want a quarterback to be able to take risks. You want him to do that, but they got to be calculated, you know. And so it's hard. I think in the severe and Chris, to your point, the energy aspect, without question, Minshew's got it. Minshew's going to be the spark on the offense that we're going to need. Aiden O'Connell played perfectly fine. I didn't see really much issues with his game. He actually had really good pocket presence. On that 3rd and goal on the goal line, I wish he would have stepped up in the pocket when Andres Peak missed his block on the outside. I would have wished he would have stepped up in the pocket. Instead, he bailed a little bit. But again, Minshew, they're both learning a new offense, right? So they'll work those kinks out a little bit. But it's going to be a battle. I do think Gardner might have the edge a little bit just because of what he did. I think you got to give it to him. But there's still going to be a lot of game to be played for the next 2 preseason games. So it's
probably one. I mean, kind of what Severe said. I doubt they play that much in the 3rd game. I mean, I think that because if I remember correctly, last year, I know McDaniels, I mean, his philosophy on the way they played in preseason was a little bit different, because I don't think we had no starters playing the 3rd game, right?
I don't believe so. I don't think so. Our starting quarterback didn't play at all throughout the entire preseason, right? Did Jimmy G take any snaps?
Yeah, Jimmy. I think Jimmy I think the 2nd game Jimmy got like a series. Okay.
I think if he was medically cleared by that time, I don't know. I can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
Yeah.
Jimmy G still ain't medically clear.
Right. So let's do this. No, we got that quarterback talk out the way. Hey, big shout out to everybody else in the chat. I'm gonna try to go through this. MEZBX, big shout out to you. Huey P, appreciate you coming through. Clifford the Black Raider, what's going on, man? Pharaoh, hey Pharaoh, I appreciate you rolling through. If you guys you guys never been there, it's a Pharaoh's channel. Go hit him up. Go subscribe to his channel, and then for all you guys that are new to all of us, subscribe to Chris's channel, Protect the Shield podcast. Subscribe to him and Severe Raider. Go to his channel.
Severe
subscribe to him.
Cool.
Sam Tonka, what's going on, man? Appreciate you coming through. Dixon Sider, what's good, man? All you guys, I appreciate everybody rolling through. Wild Turkey 74, Wild Turkey. I got bad memories of Wild Turkey. Raider Paul. Cool Cap 75, what's good, man? I know. Unfazed. LA Raider 11, what's good, man? He's one of my boys from back home. What's going on, brother? So let's kind of get into the offensive defensive side. Okay, so we'll touch on the offensive side first. Let's go with the offensive winners. All right, let's go with offensive winners first, based on first game, first preseason. Chris, go for it. Who do you think? Okay, let's go top three. Top three winners for today.
So people that kind of stand out to me, Trey Tucker holding on to the ball, running good routes.
A hell of a catch.
Yeah, I was surprised. I mean, I ain't gonna say surprised. It's like the reports that I've been getting has made me nervous about him. But before the reports, I love Trey Tucker. I was all for him. So, but like my confidence in him kind of got hit a little bit over these last couple of weeks. So I love seeing him play and catch the ball cleanly. So I'll say him. Gardner Minshew, I think, he's a gamer. I know half of the nation wants to hate on the guy. But my thing is, just because you love Aiden don't mean you got to hate on Gardner, and vice versa. So I'm putting Gardner on there, and then the third person. Let's see, who would I say? The third person. He didn't play that much, but I think I want to say, honestly, I want to say Glaze. When he was on the right side, he played very well, but when he was at left tackle, he looked terrible. So I'm not gonna say him. So I'll put Jacoby Myers, just because he got 2 nice catches early on. So those are my 3.
Severe, go for it.
Yeah, man. I think Jacoby off top. Jacoby, I think. Like he basically, it just seemed like whenever Aiden was dropping back, he was looking for Jacoby Myers. Like he was like, "Where's Jacoby at? I'm gonna get him the ball." I liked what I saw from Michael Mayer as well. I think he moved really well out there. Yeah, he had a nice catch over the middle. I think for a first down. And I like what I saw from Zamir White as well. Zamir White as well. They got him back on the field. They got him that touchdown. In a situation, in a situation where, hey, when it's time to punch it in, we have faith in his ability to make those tough yards and to score his touchdowns in the red zone instead of kicking field goals. So I would say those are my 3 biggest winners. But overall, man, our first and even our second team, offense, I think they played well. They executed well.
Yeah, so for me, I'm going to kind of go a little bit outside the box. I think one of the biggest winners, in my opinion, was Luke Getsy. I think Luke Getsy's offense was actually very well. It was well balanced. I think we did a little more pass than we did run, but it wasn't predictable. And I know you try to stay basic during the preseason and stuff. You're trying some things out, but it wasn't predictable. There was one screen pass, I believe, on a 3rd and 8 in the second quarter, which, in my opinion, was a great play call. It was incomplete pass, but there was nothing but daylight in front of that running back if you would have connected. And so that was
even the one that was that the one that Gardner did.
Yeah, that's what
you're right. That was my thing. Like, we're talking about inches away. There's nothing but daylight there. You're right.
And so one of the things for me that was one of the knock on, and that's one of the things I saw out of Luke Getsy's system when I kind of looked at his film. When we hired him, I went back and I watched 7 of his game films of last year just to kind of see what is his offense doing. he liked the screen game. I don't know if it was because of the inability of Fields to be able to really pick apart the defense.
Yeah.
A lot of screens with the receivers, a lot of running back screens. And so he didn't break it all out. It could change in the regular season, but at least for this game, I think his play call was extremely good. He used the two tight end sets extremely well. Brock Bowers wasn't just going all over the place and running routes left and right. He was actually motioning to the backfield. He was the lead blocker. He was putting his hand in the dirt. He was lying out wide, that little slip screen coming underneath. I believe it was the first drive of the game. I think it was a very well-rounded game for Luke Getsy. So I just liked just the debut of Luke Getsy. I think that was one. Number two, I think, was Thayer Munford. I think Thayer Munford did a really good job at right tackle. He played basically the entire first half. And I continued to kind of go back and watch him, and I didn't see anything that hurt him. I think he did well on his side. And there was a couple times on a run play coming right behind him, and he basically just flat backed his man. And so I think he did well. So I think Thayer Munford, I think he definitely helped himself. And then one guy that was shocking to me, DJ Turner. I was actually surprised. There were some.
He's had a hell of a camp. Camp.
There was reports coming out, and I've said at least 2-3 times on.
I'm missing it.
At least 2-3 times on my channel, I've said I posted some videos basically saying that DJ Turner did extremely well in the return game last year, helped out in special teams, but he hasn't shown a lot in the receiver side. And so I wasn't sure how locked in his spot was this year. But for him to come out and show that he can kind of stretch that defense a little bit, possibly be another deep threat, I think that just helped him. And so I definitely like to see what DJ Turner brought to the table, because at the end of the day, if Trey Tucker goes down, we need somebody else that can stretch that field. And there's really nobody else. I like LaDietrich Griffin. I don't think he got much. I don't even think I saw him on the field today.
I think Tulu Griffin played at all. Did
he been hurt though? Hasn't he been hurt?
Did Ramel Keaton get out there either?
Yeah, I didn't see out there. Oh yeah, I didn't see Keaton. I didn't see him do nothing. No, I was excited to see him, but I didn't see him do nothing.
So DJ Turner, it was kind of a surprise to me, and I was happy to see it. He caught that clean. It was a great throw by Gardner Minshew across the field, deep over the right-hand side, hit him in stride. It was a great ball. But for DJ Turner to kind of step up, so those are my three guys. I think Luke Getsy, I think it was a good debut for him, Thayer Munford, and DJ Turner. Those are my kind of three on the offensive side. So let's talk about the losers real quick. So on the offensive side, who are our losers during the first preseason game? Chris, go for it.
If Andreas Pete isn't working at the local Dairy Queen by tomorrow, I don't know what else. Like, if he's not the reincarnation of Brandon Parker, I don't know who is. Like, I couldn't believe it, man. Just watching him get beat by a rookie time and time again. I mean, just terrible footwork, slow feet.
It was a rookie.
A rookie. And it's like, every play you would just watch him get off the ground, and he didn't even get off the ground gracefully. It was just a bad look, man. Pete looked bad. He looked bad. I think that Nesta Jade Severa.
Let's go to the defense. Let's just stick to offense.
Okay, my bad. Just off. We're talking about just offense.
Just offense, yeah.
I'm sorry, my bad. Okay. Let's see who else looked bad on offense. Oh,
obvious choice.
Severa's boy, Anthony Brown. Anthony Brown. Poor fella. He looked bad. I'm trying to think who else. Like, those two really stood out. I don't know if I have a third that like really stood out as being like bad. I might need y'all's help on this, but I got those two for sure.
Yeah,
so go for it.
Yeah, Anthony Brown is obvious, and Anthony Cool Kev Brown,
Cool Kev,
out there looking disastrous, like Cool Kev looking in these comment sections. But he's
just keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Andres Pete is obvious choice, and then
Yeah, who's that third?
The legendary Britton Brown out there.
Oh God,
Yeah, he was
the
bad.
The
legendary.
legendary.
Running backs growing trees, Britton Brown.
Man, that was terrible, man. So yeah, I just think that, yeah, as I said, man, I said I was on the live. Well, I wasn't on live, but I was in the chat on Chris's live, man. Anthony Brown said, black quarterbacks back 40 years.
Yeah. That was bad. That was nasty work, bro. That was nasty work.
Terrible.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Los Angeles Raider. Hondo said Nesta was relentless tonight and stood out. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, okay, look, I don't want to go on a tangent. 805, but can I say something?
Go
and
for
I'm
it.
sorry, man, because I've been drinking all morning or all day, as you guys know. Like,
and running errands at the same time. I like it.
Exactly.
Like
I don't know how to say it because I respect Hondo. I had him on my show, man. But man, it's like as Raider fans, we really have to do our due diligence on the interpretation of people and how they watch the game. Now, if you guys listen to someone who says Nesta Severa had a good game and was relentless tonight, like I really don't know how you watch film, because I will sit and watch film with any defensive person. Well, it could be Monty Kiffin or Dick LeBeau, it could be Marvin Lewis, it could be any of the greats. None of them would say Nesta Severa played worth a damn today, because I watched him closely because I'm a fan of him. I wanted him to do well. He did terrible. So again, as Raider fans, we have to be careful who we get our news from. Again, I'm not taking no shots at nobody, but watch it for yourself. Just like everything in life, whether it's politics, religion, whatever, look into stuff yourself. Don't always go by anyone else. If I say something, double check my work, what I say. So therefore, I know you guys praise certain people, but look at it yourself. Go back and look at the all 22 of Nesta Severa. If you guys feel that he was relentless tonight, then I don't know what to tell you. I can't help you.
So he popped out, right? He had those two good plays. I think he had a near sack, I believe. He did have a tackle for a loss. So he popped out on two plays. I don't know how much he played, but at least I did see him for a handful of that third quarter, at least. And that's the hard part, right? Chris, to your point, if you know how to watch film, you can pop out once or twice.
Yeah.
But then you can get manhandled nine times after that. And that's the hard part.
Look, there was at least 4 plays I thought he was slow dancing with the offensive lineman. Like he was all the way up, like all the way up, like no kind of leverage, just up like this.
Yeah.
And they were just like this, like it there was no kind of push, there was no aggression. And again, if I'm wrong, you guys can clip anything that you see and send it to me and let me know I'm wrong. But I'm willing to sit with any defensive minded person that watches film, and I can point out how bad Nesta played today. And this is coming from a guy that really likes Nesta. Like, I wanted him to make the team over Byron Young. So I'm being as objective as possible. I did not like what I saw from Nesta today.
So we'll jump back to Nesta. All right. We'll jump back to him in a second. But Severe offensively, who I think did you say who your losers were? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll jump in and then we'll talk about defense. Yeah, honestly, my losers, one was Christian Wilkerson. I think he got a couple opportunities.
Wilkerson. Okay, I was about to say. Okay.
Yeah.
Wilkerson.
I was about to get Chris.
Yeah, I'm like, what? I'm like, Christian Wilkins went nuts, bro. It is a little bit. Okay, my bad, man. My bad. I'm gonna shut up over here.
No, I mean, Christian Wilkerson, he got one opportunity. He got the little hitch route. It was actually, again, to Lugetti's. It was a little RPO. I mean, Aiden O'Connell saw that defensive back was sitting about 7, 8 yards off. He gave him basically a gift. I used to call that back in the day when I was coaching. Anytime you saw a corner 7+ off, we basically had a holiday call. It was Christmas, Easter, whatever it is. It was basically a gift. And we would just hit that hitch route real quick. And so that's what Christian Wilkerson got. And he just ran his ass right into the DB. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And these are between him and Ramel Keaton. I want to see what these guys can do.
Yeah.
And as a receiver, one of the best ways that you can really flash and show your worth is just kind of taking advantage every time the ball touches your hands. And so Christian Wilkins, I wish he would have got maybe a couple more opportunities, but the opportunities that he did get didn't do too much. But I'll tell you right now, I think our entire left offensive side of the line, I mean, if JPJ and Colton Miller do not come back fully healthy, Andres Pete, you guys broke him down. I'm not going to touch that guy because that was awful. But
That's
Cody
what
Whitehair.
That's what Andres Pete said about defensive players. He's not going to test it.
I mean, he looked old. That was the hard part.
Oh,
I mean,
man.
it was bad. But Cody Whitehair looked awful. Him trying to get to the second level, reach linebackers was non-existent. Basically, linebackers just undercut him real quick.
I gotta go back and watch him. I gotta go back to go. He didn't pop out to me as being like bad, but I gotta watch him.
Go back and
he was bad.
Go back and watch it. He had me behind on the film because I kept rewinding, looking at him. I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" And so, yeah, it was bad. His pass blocking, run blocking, the whole nine. I think out of basically he played almost the entire first, almost about a quarter and a half. And I'll tell you right now, it was just awful. So, unfortunately, our left side of the line, if we don't get healthy, we're in trouble.
We're in trouble.
You know, I would like to see Jordan Meredith, which is one of our backup guards that plays on the right-hand side. I'd love to see him switch over and possibly slot in. Not to say that he did much better, but he's just he's younger than Cody Whitehair. But yeah, I just think the losers as a whole is just the left side of our line as it stands right now. Also, DJ Glaze. I think I don't expect a lot from rookies, especially first game, right? I give rookies the biggest break in the world. It's your first game, you know, it's going to be rough. But I mean, that one sack he gave up where the D end just basically double moved him, came underneath, didn't even touch him. Labe got
that was on the left side. I think on the right side he did. At least I think he did well on the right side. But that left side, that was nasty work.
I think that was a UDFA from like Air Force or something like that.
That was that was bad.
But if you go back, Chris, watch the film, and a lot of times he almost, and I hate to say this, he almost kind of gave me that like sophomore playing varsity football lineman where he's
not ready,
keeping his stance square and just kind of chopping to a guy as opposed to going and get somebody with confidence. Yeah. Right. It looked like
but did you see that? Did you see that on the right side that when he was at right tackle though?
I saw that right.
Did you?
On the right side a couple times, yeah.
Okay.
So I saw it on both sides. And it was tough. So I think and I only put a little more pressure on him just because there's a good chance we might need him at some point.
Yeah.
With all the injuries that we are going into the season with, we didn't, again, it's because I'm always going to go back to we left some pretty good offensive linemen on the board that first round. And so it's going to be tough. I hope that we go in healthy, and I hope that we don't find ourselves in a situation where we're shuffling guys around and now we're week 6, week 7 trying to bring somebody off for free agency to start. You know, because I'll tell you, Andres Pete, that was embarrassing. So
that was bad.
Real quick before we get to the defensive side, big shout out, Huey P. What's going on, man? I appreciate you coming in, Myra G. I know you are always on there with Chris's podcast. Appreciate you coming in. My 2 cents. What's going on, man? Appreciate you, Dylan Dotson. Appreciate you rolling through. Ja Raider 97. What's going on, man? So let's talk real quick defense side. Let's talk winners on the defense. We talked. We're not going to go to the losers. We're going to keep Nested J out of our mouth for a second. Not say it was a loser, but let's go winners on the defensive side. Chris, go for it.
You got to do double J, baby. You know, Jack Jones. He's doing everything that we heard he was going to do. Loved watching him. Jack Jones doing his thing, man. So I love that. Christian Wilkins, like, you know, I've seen a lot of highlights of him. I've watched him ever since the Clemson days. I've always adored how he played, but to see him in silver and black and just like it almost reminded me of like Warren Sapp, like when he was in his prime, like just a quick get off, great hands, just in the backfield like this. Like that's I'm not used to seeing a like I can't even think of what tackle we've had in the silver and black that literally just got off the line like that and it was just in the backfield. I can't even think who.
Yeah,
You know,
it's been a long time.
yeah, it's been a long time, and it's just like it was again another small sample size, but it's like
Russell, maybe Russell.
yeah,
Russell.
maybe something like that. But it was like, I mean, he popped out right away for me. Like he popped out more than Max did today. Like he was, just disruptive. So
Yeah.
I'm sorry for being long winded there. So I'm gonna say him, and then my boy Jacorian.
I'm about to say, man, that can go with
You
your
know,
adopted son.
I got my boy JB, baby. No
You got
touchdown,
it.
JB.
I was waiting for it. I was just waiting.
Leaving your godson hanging up
Yeah,
there,
no
man.
TD, JB. Let's go. He needed, honestly, I think from a confidence standpoint, he needed that. He needed that, honestly.
Yeah,
I'm with you. Severe, go for it, man.
Yeah, man. I will say I'm trying to go a little bit of a different direction. Diablo, man, Diablo. I was impressed with Diablo out there. I saw a few times where he was able to. Like, a matter of fact, I want to say on the Jack Jones interception, he was one of the guys that was giving chase to JJ McCarthy. We know, JJ McCarthy is very athletic at the quarterback position. I think that's some of what Diablo offers you. He offers you it's like supreme athleticism at that linebacker position. Also, think he did well enough in coverage today. His main issue has been health, so that's kind of what he'll be judged by. But I think he looked good out there today. Jacorian Bennett, man, I gotta give him credit, especially since the guy who I wanted more than anybody else in this draft was Quinion Mitchell. So if
who drafted him?
Eagles.
Eagles
did?
Yeah,
Okay.
Eagles.
Yeah.
Eagles
I want to keep my eye on him. I got to keep my eye on him.
Eagles got a deep to backfield over there. That's what they got.
Yeah, they got they picked him up. They got him starting nickel right now. I want to say he's starting nickel already. So, but if Jacorian Bennett turns out, then we don't need another corner. So I think that is I think that's a very important position for us right there. And Cool Kev said it earlier, man. Amari Burney, very, very, and he's another guy out there who, for that position, he has top tier athleticism, and those are the kind of guys you need out there,
Good one.
especially in this passing league. You need guys that can move, man. So I think, in the past we've been worried about our linebacker core, but I think we have a few guys out there. Spillane even played well too. So, but
yeah,
I think our linebacker core is looking good.
All right, so you guys basically took mine, right? Yeah, you got your boy Jacorian Bennett. I think that pick on that 4th and goal. I mean, he played it perfectly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times you see interceptions like Jack Jones's interception was smooth.
Yeah,
that's exactly how you want to play it, right?
That was perfect. Yeah.
Jacorian Bennett's interception, smooth. One of the guys I think, and it's just I want to just see him continue this Trayvon Moorick.
Yeah.
I mean, his ability to be around the field, not only to be back there defending passes, but at the same time, he's coming up against the run. To see kind of Patrick Graham, just kind of see how he plays him working around the field. I think Trayvon Moorick had a hell of a game against the starters. Divine Diablo. I agree with you 100%. Divine Diablo, when I'm watching the game film, he had a hell of a game. I think he made the first 2 tackles on the run plays.
Yeah, he did well.
He was coming downhill. He produced. It's plain and simple. Let's stay healthy, but he produced, right?
Yeah.
And then again, I got Amari Burney. I think Amari Burney definitely showed that he can potentially kind of take that next step. I think this is his 3rd year, going into his 3rd year.
Burney's second year.
Second year. Yeah. I think he's just showing that he can take that next step, which is awesome, because at the end of the day, we need depth at the linebacker position. We need to figure out who's going to be solidified that number 2 linebacker next to Spillane. Divine Diablo looks like he's heading that direction. he's obviously slotted in that spot, but you obviously gotta keep it. But that's my biggest thing is we need depth. You got Eichenberg, our 5th rounder, but we got to know who's going to battle. Who's going to battle. So those are you guys took my 3. Appreciate it, but I did throw in Trayvon Morgan there a little bit. So Chris, who are your losers on defense? Go for it.
Losers, Nesta, bro. Man, even with you, I wouldn't mind watching the film with you. Maybe once all 22 come out. I thought Nesta played terrible, like terrible. I don't even think. Again, he may have had a flash here or there, but like the time, like I just remember at least 3 plays specifically. It looked like he was just slow dancing with his offensive lineman, and it was sickening to me, man. So yeah, so him. Number 40, I think Jaden Grant.
No,
I think that's 40, right?
No, that's 40. 40 is Jaden Grant.
Yeah.
No, 40.
No,
it's 40. That's Sanford. At Sanford.
No, that's Jaden Grant.
It is. Hold on. Oh yeah, Jaden Grant. Sorry, you're right. My bad.
Yeah, Jaden Grant.
42 at Sanford.
Yeah, because when because on that long run, I thought it was my boy Woo Governor at first, and I was like, oh no, like not my boy Woo, man. So I was about to come up with a whole excuse because I love my boy Woo, so I didn't have to come up with excuses. But 40, Jaden Grant had the most terrible angle when he came up to make he didn't make the tackle. He just had a terrible angle, and the running back just ran around him. And I'm just like, dude, what are you doing? You're the last line of defense. So that play stuck out to me. And then I think Christopher Smith I don't think he played a good game, man. I think that one long pass,
that was tough.
He should have been over top. That was terrible help coverage there. I don't know if they were zone or if they were just in like a man cover 2 over top or man, whatever.
It looked like a cover 2.
Yeah, and it was just like he wasn't there. So it just looked bad. It just looked bad. So I don't know. Wait, was that 3? Did I say 3? So Nesta, Chris Smith, and I think I said one more, didn't I?
The Jaden Grant.
Yeah, Jaden Grant. Yeah. So that's my 3.
The top loser. I mean, the number 1 loser. It's got to be Tommy Eichenberg.
Stop, man. Stop.
But actually, Tommy Eichenberg is a loser by proxy just because Amari Burney and Diablo look so good. He kind of lost today, but just keeping it. See, I still like that in there, right?
Why wasn't he there? He had like a personal issue.
Yeah, personal issue at home. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man, come on, give him some slack.
Look, I keep hearing this dude is he's all about ball. He's a football player. Like, oh, you missed the game. Personal issues. Like, get your ass out of here, man. So it better be somebody. I don't want to push this, but hopefully, I don't want to say hopefully, but it better have been like a death in the family or a super illness. Like that, man. So you missing games for personal issues, like, bro. You're your NFL debut. You miss on a personal issue. Like, dog, everybody keeps saying you all about football. I'm a football guy. I'm Tommy Two Thumbs.
Man. Severe. If I knew how to do this, I would highlight you on this screen right now. I think I know how to do it.
Hold on. You look. Go.
No, I'm good.
Yeah, but go into the right corner of him.
I'm done with my Eichenberg rant, man. I'm done with my Eichenberg rant.
Yeah, let him get on this soapbox.
I was about to go go grab him.
I actually want Eichenberg to be good. Man.
No, you don't. No, you don't. No. I'm not letting you get away with that. No, because you doing the same tactic that I do. You act like you want someone to do well. You really don't want them to.
Because I don't want us to have made the wrong decision. I'd rather us have made the right decision. But I wanted to be like, damn, like, you know what? Because I remember like when we passed on, when we wanted to draft Mike McGlinchey, and we ended up with Colton Miller. And I was like, man, I kind of like Colton Miller. But I was like, man, like Colton Miller better. Like, even I'm hoping at that point I was hoping
we made the right choice. McGlinchey.
Yeah, I'm hoping Mike McGlinchey. I was hoping Colton Miller was good and Mike McGlinchey was bad. So I'm hoping we make the right choice. So because I'd rather us be good than be bad. I'd rather be wrong and we win than
Yeah.
than to be right and we out here struggling.
If somebody dies in the
But
damn.
but yeah, man, number one loser, Chris Smith. I mean, like I was really hoping Chris Smith would kind of turn the corner. And I'm just not seeing it. Number two loser, Sam Webb. Sam Webb was just I don't know what that guy was doing out there. And then the loser, just because he didn't do anything at all. I think somebody just put in the comment, put in the chat like where did he play? It was Tyree Wilson. Like
Bro.
Tyree Wilson made the one play. Rundown was, oh, you see what Tyree Wilson did? Like
Shout out to Rundown. Rundown was like, see? I'm like, what are you doing?
Man. He's like, all he did, Tyree Wilson did was run straight.
Yeah, no one blocked him.
That doesn't make any sense.
He said,
the hard part about Tyree, the hard part, and it's the knock that I have him when we drafted him, is he's so one-dimensional. The one thing, and that was one of my losers, was I don't think he's improved. That's the hard part, is when you watch him rush, even so, one, he didn't even start. Okay, that's number one. Didn't even start on the interior. Even in the first series of defense, we went to a 5-man front, and he didn't come in.
I was telling people we went to a 5-man front.
We went to a 5-man front actually quite a bit.
Because it was in the middle. It was Adam Butler, Jenkins, and Wilkins, right?
Yeah.
And then it was I knew it. I was like, I knew I wasn't crazy.
Yeah,
I knew I wasn't crazy. Okay.
So Tyree didn't even come in when we go to a 3 interior down lineman, and so I'm saying, okay, there's no confidence there.
Yeah.
And then he came in, played D end, but then also when he did go and switch down into the interior, he continued to just be one-dimensional. No moves, nothing. He doesn't have a secondary move, not even a third or fourth. I mean, it is just straight bull rush, and that's what it was back when he was at Texas Tech. And so all that working out that he did with Max Crosby, I'm not exactly sure what he learned. Let's hope that he turns it on and has another gear or something like that, or let's just hope he's hiding something from us. I don't know, but he looked one-dimensional, just like he did last year. And so the excuse of he's got a full off season, he had time to get healthy, all that stuff, that's going to slowly start to creep out the window. And now you got to start to produce. And for him not to not even be, I mean, he's so big. What, 6'7"? He bulked up a little bit. I think he's at 280, 285 now. Yeah. That's plenty big to play in the interior with his athleticism.
His wingspan is ridiculous.
Yeah, and with his athleticism, he can play in the interior. He proved it last year that he found some success in the interior. Yeah. But for him to be just almost non-existent today, and you're playing with the second team, which means you're going against potentially second-string linemen, it's, I think without question, he was a loser. And one guy for me is Luke Masterson. There were some reports coming out. There were some reports coming out of camp that he was doing well. He was
see.
Is Rundown in here? What's going on, Rundown? All right, I'm gonna get to you because
we just talking crap to him because these are people that he likes, man. He's like he like So I'm sorry, it's like some insiders, man.
Yeah, I'm
insiders.
But that's my thing. Masterson coming out of camp, they were saying that he was doing well, kind of fighting for that second linebacker position next to Spillane. And when I saw him today, he looked lost. Yeah. He kind of looked lost. He wasn't able to kind of play downhill into his running lanes. One of the things when it comes to linebackers, you got to have the vision like a running back. It's the same thing, right? D linemen, they're going to fill gaps. They're going to sustain some lanes. Your job is to basically counter that. Running backs are looking for lanes. Linebackers, you look to fill them. And so Masterson, I just think unfortunately, I think he fell off. But all the rest of the guys, whether it be Chris Smith, Jaden Grant, all those guys. And then, unfortunately, again, like I said a little bit earlier, I give rookies a lot of patience. You're a rookie. Sometimes you don't pan out today, especially if you're a late round rookie. But I hated to see a guy that I'm actually pretty high on. I think he still has a chance. I'm still going to give him a chance without question. But MJ Devonshire, he got beat.
Yeah.
He got beat deep on that deep ball right over the top. And the worst thing you can do on the defense is get beat deep. It's that simple.
Yeah.
That's just easy yards to the offense. And that's a massive momentum swing. It led to points. You just can't get beat deep, plain and simple.
Back.
And so, and I believe he might have got benched after that. I don't know if I saw him after getting beat deep.
Who, Devonshire?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Devonshire was a guy I liked too, man. I actually liked him better than DeCamerion, to be honest with you. So
yeah.
Now, again, I'll be honest, DeCamerion didn't have the best game either.
No.
I mean, he gave up the edge a couple times on run plays. He wasn't as physical as I thought he was going to come out and be like he was in college. Yeah. But again, rookies. I give them 100% the entire offseason to kind of – that's why Chris, your boy Jacorian Bennett, I mean, his rookie season, especially at the corner position, a lot of times as corners, you want to kind of – you almost find yourself being overly aggressive against some of these better receivers because you're trying. You're trying to make a presence.
So, I mean, honestly, as a young DB, a lot of times that's your only way of stopping them, like because you don't, like these guys are so crafty, and you got to think Jacorian week 2 had to go against Diggs, and Diggs, maybe besides Tay and what's his name, Keenan Allen and Jetta's, like he might be the best route runner, as far as like pure route runner. So it's like he got baptized very early, very early, and when your big homie is Marcus Peters, you're in trouble, like you're in trouble.
No, fact.
Hey, hold on, big shout out to Unfazed. I mean, he's right.
You're not fact.
Yeah, that entire run game,
the defense
really almost throughout the entire game, man. Even when our starters were in, they were starting to chip away. Yeah, Sam Darnold was throwing the rock a little bit, but it was so balanced. I mean, it was almost they moved that ball down to basically what was it, 4th and 2?
Oh yeah, there was.
So they moved it. Yeah, and so but that second half defense run game, I mean that was atrocious.
Oh, that was
you throw that out.
Yeah. Man. The thing about Tyree is that, like, one of my first videos on YouTube was talking about Tyree, and I talked about how he didn't have any kind of ball get off. He had, basically only moves he had was a bull rush, and he had the long arm, and he still has not developed any pass rush moves. And he slows all get out. Everything Tyree does is slow. He gets out of his stance slow, gets off the ball slow, talks slow, get up after a tackle slow, breathes.
His emotions are slow.
Like, he's a slow motherfucker. Like, he's just a slow ass dude. He's just slow. Everything
poor little tink tink.
Slow.
Poor little tink tink.
Man, so I'm just like, dang, dog, like, and Jalen Carter was right there, man, and that's gonna be my Megatron moment, man. Where that's gonna be my Megatron moment. I just feel it.
That's how I feel about Cleveland Farrell and Josh Allen from the Jaguars. Like, it's like certain things, like I'll never forgive our front office for certain things, and Tyree's gonna be one of them.
Yeah, that's tough, right? So we just kind of talked about the defensive side and the run game a little bit, but we talked about winners, losers. We talked about some of the rookies that stood out. Let's talk real quick. I just want to throw this out here, kind of about our running back room. Severe, you said you liked a little bit of what you saw out of Zamir White. I think we have a running back room of a bunch of different type of running backs. To be dead honest, when you look at the film or you look at the game, Zamir White definitely looks like that short yardage guy. He's going to just basically put his head down. Alexander Madsen looks like he had a little more shake to him. He looked like he was, kind of just a little more shifty in that backfield. Amir Abdullah got a lot of work, which is good. I
didn't look bad to me. I actually liked Amir, what I saw.
Well, to me, Amir was a great pickup. Obviously we have Labe back there. He's a rookie. We'll see what happens. But I think Amir was a great pickup because I still think he can be a really good third down back. But Amir got some return work as well. I think he returned some kickoffs. But then you got Dylan Labe. And unfortunately, I felt like Dylan Labe just kind of got the shitty end of the stick behind a really bad offensive line.
Yeah.
But Chris, what are your thoughts on the running back room and how do you think this might play out in the next couple games?
The running back room, I guess the nicest way I could say it is I think the sample size was too small. Zeus, he scored a touchdown, he ran hard, he did what he was supposed to do. But can I come away from this game and say, oh man, Zeus looks like a RB1? I can't say that. I liked a little bit what I saw from Amir. He was kind of splashy. I'm trying to think who else. Labe, to me, I think Labe just didn't have a chance. I felt like he never had a chance to even get anything going because every time he touched the ball, somebody was on him. And then I will say, I always make jokes about Sincere McCormick. Sincere looked pretty decent. Like he from the eye test, he looks all right. His stat line, I think he averaged 3.8 per carry, so that's not going to get nobody's attention. But just watching him, he had some plays where he looked pretty good, lateral movement, making guys miss. But the way our offensive line was playing, they were so terrible. It's hard to give them a true evaluation, to be honest.
Yeah, I'll say this. People is critical of my Tommy Eichenberg take. Let's say, for instance, you guys were hired for a
back
job,
up Tommy Eichenberg,
right?
Let's go.
He's
Where's that highlight button?
The biggest loser in the running back room is Tommy Eichenberg because he wasn't there to tackle any running backs. That's why. Let's say, for example,
who do you hate more, Tommy Eichenberg or Justin Fields?
I hate Justin Fields way more. I want Justin Fields to be bad. I want Tommy Eichenberg to be good. He's on my team. It's just Justin Fields is Justin Fields. He's already bad. I don't have to wish bad things on him. It's just going. I just give him a football. Let him do it to himself. But let's say you guys are hired for your dream job, right? The most you guys been wanting this job your entire life. You do all the things and you get hired by this company that you've been wanting to work for, and your very first day of training, you call out with a family emergency. Like, what the hell is that? Your first day of training, you're like, oh man, I'm all about this job. I'm the hardest work you ever made in your entire life. I'm gonna give it my all. And then your first day, you know what? I can't make it to training today. Got a family emergency. Get your ass out of here, bro.
Okay, hold on. So do we know why he missed?
That's what I'm saying. We don't know.
There's something bad.
We don't know.
Severe. Something bad's gonna come out. I'm just letting you know.
You're gonna feel crazy. You're gonna feel crazy.
Man, Brett Favre played after his dad died. I don't want to hear nothing. Brett Favre cooked us at this. Brett Favre was out there, bro, cooking us.
Something's gonna happen, Severe. Like it's gonna come out, bro.
I'm just messing. I'm just messing with the chat. The chat.
I don't think you are. I don't think you are.
I don't think you are either.
I'm giving the chat a hard time about Tommy Eichenberg. I'm giving a hard time about Brock Bowers too. But two Brock Bowers. I think that we haven't seen the complete run game because I think Brock Bowers is going to be a pivotal part of the run game. I think we're going to see Brock Bowers get some handoffs. Get some tight end screens, which is just basically an extension of the run game. So I think that those plays to him specifically are going to essentially be, a supplement to the run game. Sincere McCormick, I wasn't impressed with him. You say what's Sincere average? You said 3.8 yards a carry.
Yeah,
and he had like a 25-yard run. You know how bad you have to be the rest of your carry
for the other run,
and then average 3.8 yards a carry, bro. You trash. Get your ass, bro. Look, you better call Enterprise. you better call Enterprise. You're gonna be driving. You're gonna be parking cars, bro. You got about 2 weeks. But other than that, man, I like what I saw from Madison a little bit. I already said I like what I saw from Zeus. I like what I saw from Lobby. I think that we aren't going to see a full extent of what Lowry does just because it's going to be some lining him up in the slot, some like we're going to do all kind of stuff with them. So we're not going to show that stuff in the preseason. So I'm not really too much worried about our running game. I think we have depth there, and I think we have solid talent. I don't think well, with our quarterback situation, we may need more protection than normal out of the running game just because I don't think we have a franchise. We don't have a franchise signal caller. So we're going to lean on the run game a little bit more, but I think we have a diversity of skill sets there, as 805 said. So I think we can do something in the run game.
You know what? I'm sorry, man. Like I just went to the NFL.com because I was gonna look at stats, and I was curious of what Spencer Rattler did because everyone like was talking about what he did. Cause I guess he scored a touchdown. Spencer Rattler went 2 for 5 for 21 yards. Calm down. Calm down, guys. Calm down. My bad. I'm sorry.
Yeah, he only threw 5 passes.
2 for 5. Calm down. My bad. Go ahead. I'm sorry, 805.
So here's my thing on the running back room. I think Zamir White is tough because I'm not sure if his vision is there just yet. I saw him doing a lot of just one cut. Yeah, he got a feel, but he's just kind of running the piles a little bit. So we'll see kind of how that plays out. I liked what Alexander Madsen was doing. It could be a great 1-2 punch. Let's put it that way, right? And I'm game for that. But the one thing that I was excited about was Dylan Labe. Even though he didn't have a lot of breakout runs and stuff like that, his acceleration through the hole was impressive.
Yeah.
He made the right cuts. When something wasn't there, he did make something out of nothing. I mean, you can tell, even though he didn't have much of it, you could tell he's explosive. You could tell that kid can take off if he's got a little bit of blocking behind him. So if Luke gets, he can get a little creative. And if he does turn into kind of that third down back situation and you get that kid in space, I could see if you put that kid in space, he could take off.
So do you think, because honestly, if he can do that, what you just said, then what's the point of having Amir Abdullah? Like, do you feel that we can get rid of him? Are you comfortable with that?
I feel like there's a chance Amir Abdullah could be on the chopping block. I put a video out that basically all the veterans that I think have a chance at being cut. Cody Whitehair was one of them. Amir Abdullah wasn't one of them, just because of what. And you don't know until he's coming from a small school, so you want to see how it transfers. But just seeing what he did today. And just his ability to kind of find the right hole, even though there wasn't a lot of blocking there, he made something out of nothing. But you could tell if you give that kid open space,
he's gonna be
he could be dangerous.
I agree.
And so he's not gonna be the featured back, but if you have him in a third down back situation, stuff like that, I think I think he can pop off. And so I'm excited. I'm excited about this running back room because I think there's a lot of competition floating around. And you can find yourself kind of with that 1-2 punch. Zamir White could be that first down back, short yardage type of back. And then Alexander Madsen might come in and kind of be that change of pace. So I don't know. At the end of the day, Alexander Madsen, he thrived behind Dalvin Cook. So maybe in a lot of cases we've seen around the league, sometimes you're a solid number 2. You may not be that good number 1. Yeah, he might be a solid number 2. So,
come on, Madison.
Yeah. So, all right. So, coming off this game, what's your guys' if you could think, what's your guys' biggest concern watching this game, whether it be offense or defense? What's your guys' biggest concern coming off of this first game? Chris, you go for it.
So for me, I would say my biggest concern is the left side of the line. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna say the line as a whole. I mean, I know the left side got baptized today, but just even as a whole, like I don't like the depth that we have. I saw we tried to put Glaze at left tackle. That was terrible. Like honestly, I got to go back and watch Cody Whitehair because I know you said you didn't like what you saw from him. he didn't pop out to me, so I guess I didn't watch him. So I might need to watch his reps. But Pete should not be on the NFL roster if what he does today is what he does. So, I'm just worried about that. I'm worried about the offensive line because I do think that we got the receivers. I love what Getsy did with Bowers. Saw him in the backfield, saw him as a fullback, saw him go out in the flats. He was out not in the slot, but he was the far receiver all the way out to the right. So I love that. So I guess I'll just keep it there. I'll stick with the offensive line because that they scared me. Defense, I'm not worried about because I think our defense played pretty well until the bums came in. So that's where I'm at.
Severe, go for it.
Yeah, I think depth in the offensive line is definitely a concern, especially, we have Colton Miller. He's hurt right now. And Jackson Powers Johnson, he kind of has a little bit of a history of being injured. And, we don't really want to see Cody Whitehair out there for any extended period of time, to be honest. So I think that is a concern. But the concern
So did he play that bad? Did Cody play that bad? You saw it too, Severe?
I won't say he played that, but just going on his history. He's not a guy that not a guy that's
I get it.
He just so we know, or just so we're kind of clear on his history, he was benched last year.
Yeah.
3 games left in the season
on a terrible Bears.
Yeah.
I mean, he was benched, and they tried to move him to center. He could not get the snap down. It was horrible. One of the guys.
How far out are we from his Pro Bowl season?
I think it was in 2016.
Oh,
it's a ways out. It's a ways out.
God damn! Because whenever I hear Cody Whitehair, they're like, "Oh, former Pro Bowler." We talking about 8 years ago when he went to the Pro Bowl.
The last time Cody Whitehair went to a Pro Bowl, Aiden O'Connell was like 31 years old.
Wait, what?
Nah, man, this is jokes. I don't want to see Cody Whitehair out there. I mean, we draft Jackson Powers Johnson.
Then maybe I'm tripping it. So Cody Whitehair has been bad for a long time.
He's been subpar for a long time. Yes.
Okay. See, I didn't realize that. I didn't do enough research on him. In my mind, I was always like, he's a future. I mean, he was a former Pro Bowler. Maybe he just needs a different surround. So it ain't like that. He don't need like different surround.
No, I'm corrected. It was 2019.
But that's still a long time.
That's still a long time.
Yeah, that's 5 years. Okay. Fair enough.
And it's like, so the left side of the offensive line, and I still, man, it's questions about the quarterback position, man. I still think we have questions at quarterback. We had an opportunity to upgrade it, and we didn't want to give up what was necessary to move up in the draft, whether that be to take Jaden Daniels, whether that be to take
Spencer Rattler.
I mean, Spencer Rattler, he's even them. Like, he's still
21 yards. Yeah.
He's still a developmental guy, but that's just
he ran one in, Chris. He ran one in.
My bad. And a 4-yard touchdown. Go ahead, Spencer.
How many touchdowns did Aiden O'Connell have today?
Oh, hey, you don't need to talk to me about Aiden now. Now, if you want that Gardner Minshew smoke, bring that. But Aiden, you got to talk to them other guys about Aiden.
But I'm of the thought process that you bring in a developmental guy every single year, and I thought we had an opportunity to bring in a guy that has tremendous arm talent, and develop. Even if he doesn't start this year, right? Even if he's a guy that never plays for us, you draft a guy that late with that kind of arm talent. Maybe you can use him as a trade chip later. He impresses in preseason. He gets on some late game action, a la Matt Flynn, and we move him. But I just thought that you get a guy like that, and you put him in your program, and you let him develop. I think we passed on that opportunity. So I just feel like we didn't do enough to not only address the top of the roster at quarterback, but to put a guy in the pipeline that I think that could eventually develop into a good starter. I don't think either one of the guys we have right now will ever be a good starter. I think they're both backups that could be spot starters. So I think that still remains a concern, because if you ask me, the one thing that can hold this team back from achieving his goals, and I think that is quarterback play.
And I'll piggyback off that just for a second because we have questions at quarterback, but then we also didn't fully address. We got JPJ, right? And the hard part is he's on concussion protocol basically.
Is that why he's out now? Is a concussion ain't got nothing to do with like his other injuries he had?
That's the last I heard, that it was basically just concussion protocol that he got before they went to Costa Mesa.
Damn, that's a long shit.
Yeah, so I mean, so there could be other lingering injuries going on.
Honestly, that's scary. If you're out that long for concussion, that's like there's some underlying issues there, man.
Especially if you're playing it that safe. I mean, you're a rookie. Colton Miller. I'm Colton Miller. If he's not ready to go, I don't care if he suits up for week 2 preseason, but if he's not ready to go by next week,
that's a problem.
Then my concerns are now.
Andres Pete in the building.
Right. So like, but severe to your point, right? You don't think that the forever quarterback is currently on our roster because we skipped over Michael Penix. But you don't think
that Daniels. Yeah.
And Jane Daniels.
That's my QB1. Michael Penix for my QB2.
But my thing is that, but we also didn't fully address the offensive line situation.
Yes.
We're depending on Thayer Mumford, even though I think Thayer Mumford did a good job today. So that's a step in the right direction. But then you got Colton Miller coming off an injury, JPJ with his issues. If we don't, my 2 cents, just put it up there. When the contract occurs, I see that I don't know, but I know that there was a report out saying that he was under concussion protocol, and so it could be the other lingering issue. You know, let me know if I'm wrong, chat. But that's the hard part, is we are now going into this season, into week 1, with potential offensive line questions. And we had a lot of offensive linemen just sitting there round 1 that we could have pulled off. So that's my biggest concern, is that we still have a lot of question marks stemming around the offensive line. And we have quarterbacks that are going to be reliant on the offensive line, running backs reliant on this offensive line. And we just need to average, 24 points a game. If we can average 24 points a game, this defense is going to do work on their side.
Yeah. So
that's my biggest concern coming off of this game. Everything else, time will tell. We'll still play, even the quarterback position. Time's going to tell. We still are going to have plenty of games. We have 2 more games to kind of figure out who's going to be the starter. And I'll be honest, as it looks right now, whoever we go with, we might have a chance at winning some ball games with the defense that we have. But if our offensive line can't sit and block for them, it's going to be trouble. So that's my biggest concern coming off of this game. Lastly, based on this, I guess two last questions. One, who do you truly think is on the chopping block at this point? I mean, we got to get down to 53. It's going to happen at one point. But are there some veterans out there that you think are going to be kind of clearly on that chopping block possibly going into week 2?
Go ahead. You can take it, Chris.
Huh?
You can take it.
So veterans on the chopping block. Well, the first veteran I know that he probably already put an application in at Microsoft is Brandon Faison.
T-Mobile.
Yeah, like he's working at T-Mobile right now. You know what I'm saying? So him, trying to think other veterans. I
mean, I do think Cody White here. Just based on the film, but again, because of all of our injuries, I don't know if you have to keep a guy like that.
But you know what though, like, and I know me and Severe, or me and a lot of people kind of laugh about like scholarships guys, like like last, with McDaniels had Brandon Bolden, Gruden had with Peterman and some other cat like
Peterman.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Cody Whitehair is a Getsy scholarship fella, so he might be safe. But I think right away, Faison's out of there. Sam Webb might be out of there. Yeah, I would say those two that I'm comfortable saying. I mean, there's a couple more like that Christian Wilkinson, guys like that.
Christian Wilkinson gonna get cut off name proximity alone. Like, your name too close to Christian Wilkinson. You gotta
too close. Like even when you said it earlier, I'm like, huh? And then I didn't think about it. Like, oh, you talking about that bum receiver?
Yeah. So he gonna get cut off. He gonna get just off of that. He cut. Brandon Faison there might be a warrant out for his arrest because that fool at this point he's stealing. He's just
money.
At this point, he's like, bro, you ain't never here. So
time clock fraud,
bro, for real.
Right?
But yeah, I mean, if I think that if we can get back Colton Miller healthy, I think Andres Pete obviously he's gone. Chris Smith is obviously gone. Tommy,
Pete's gone? As bad as Pete played, I don't think he's gone though. As bad as he played, I don't think he's gone.
I think they want to have. The only thing that can keep him around is the fact that he's played guard and tackle in the past.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Ideally, they have Munford, who's kind of played guard and both tackle spots in the past.
That's true.
As well.
That's true.
And then I think they're trying to get that out of the Glaze as well. They're trying to get as much position versatility out of those guys as they can because I don't think they want to carry that many offensive linemen. To be honest with you, so I think they're trying to do that there. Sam Webb, obviously. You already said Chris Smith. I mean, it's a few guys. Luke Masterson, if Amari Burney keeps doing what he's doing, and if Tommy Eichenberg ever shows up to work, I think Luke Masterson, like there's a little known rule in the NFL bylaws that limits the amount of white linebackers you can have on your team. So
we already got to the cap is too.
We had our quota, bro. So one of y'all got to go. So Masterson, bro, I think you might be in some trouble, dog.
Severe, dude. His pet bird died, man. Give him a break.
I know, man. Dog,
man.
Severe is heartless, bro. You don't even know what happened, bro.
Yeah, had him since he was a kid. Like what?
Yeah, come on, man.
Jeez. Family pet.
No, but
I have a heart, bro.
I hope everything in his family is okay.
No, you don't.
No, you can't go back. Don't backpedal.
You definitely can't
backpedal.
I hope his family is good. I mean, that's like, man, I hope it's a legit reason, but I hope everybody in his family is good. I hope it's like, I hope it's like he had to go to court or something like that, where he couldn't miss a court date or something like that. I hope it's something like that.
Because of all of Ohio State cheating.
Exactly, right?
Some way, somehow.
Forget Ohio
State. Yeah, no, I forgot. No, yeah. He's a fan of that team up north, as the people from Ohio State call him.
Man, yeah. All I know is that's why I hate Harbaugh. Harbaugh got us in such a bad predicament right now.
Yeah, I've been clowning. I've been clowning all them. Every Michigan fan I know that's playing 2K25, playing 2K or playing NCAA. I'm like, man, can y'all still signals on there too?
Man. Oh man.
No, so at the end of the day, after week one, right? You always got to evaluate certain things. You got to evaluate your current talent on the roster. Big question is there possibly somebody in free agency we take a stab at this point? Obviously there's been a lot of talks on bringing in a corner. Jacorian Bennett, he did well today, so I don't know if that's a massive topic, but when it comes to, I honestly, I haven't looked at it, to be dead honest with you, but man, I'm almost feeling like we need to start looking at some offensive linemen that we might need to just bring in as a fail-safe, just in case. Not to say there's anything quality out there. I don't know. My boy LA Raiders has give Donald Penn a call. It's just, that's the hard part. After week one, are we, at the end of the day, are we satisfied how this roster looks as it stands right now? Outside the O-line. The O-line, we already addressed that. But
give Donald Penn a call. Or Khalif Barnes. Honestly, I hated Khalif Barnes, bro, so much. He was like that. He was like the gift that kept on giving. He never went away.
Nah, man. What's my guy? What's my dude's name? Menelik Watson.
Menelik Watson.
Menelik Watson. Oh my goodness. We've had some trash at offensive tackle. Oh my goodness, man. I mean, that was supposed to be. That's what I'm saying, bro. I remember, and this is why I be going so hard on people, bro. This is why I keep it so real. So I remember having like legit conversations with people when I was like a super homer, like, bro, Menelik Watson is going to be our like he's going to lock down that side of the offensive line. Like, and I felt that in my heart of hearts. Like,
yeah, you did.
That.
Yeah,
so
you
it's
did.
like now I just be like, bro, now.
But you know what? I honestly I like Menelik Watson better than Khalif Barnes. Yeah. I would take Menelik over Khalif Barnes. I could not stand Khalif Barnes, man. Oh my god.
Yeah, it was like who was that? Who was that kid that we picked up out of Maryland that ran the fastest 40?
Bruce Campbell.
Bruce Campbell.
Oh my god.
Bruce Campbell.
Yeah, that was a good. That was another one.
People were saying we were going to draft him in the first round,
dude, bro.
Oh, he was.
People thought we would draft him in the first because he like blew up the combine. He was super muscled up. He had crazy long arms. He ran that freaky 40. People was like, "Oh, the Raiders are going to take this."
Tyree Wilson.
That was right after we drafted Darius Hayward-Bay. We drafted Darius Hayward-Bay the year before. So they're like, "Oh, the Raiders just could do anything." So
he was a Tyree Wilson on the offensive line, bro.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was. God, that was brutal.
Hey, Myra, I gave you clear directions. Can you please put the 3 of our links in the comments? You keep talking to the 49ers.
This guy right here.
Yeah, you keep talking to that guy. Myra, I gave you clear direction. I
Raiders
need you to put the 3 links of us 3 in the comments, please, dear. Thank you.
I would say this though. I would be remiss if I didn't say I saw it in the chat earlier. Congrats to my guy, Protect the Shield on hitting 3K.
100%, absolutely.
All I have to say is pizza rolls, and Chris knows what I'm talking about. Chris knows what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Shout out the rundown. That was a great show earlier, man. But you know what? Shout out to 805 because I've been watching his channel, and I'm like, man, this dude started after me, and this dude just gets crazy. He gets crazy numbers, bro. I really rock with 805. Man.
805. Oh yeah, man, for sure.
Hey, 805. He's different. He's different.
No, I appreciate you. Real quick, not to extend it. I want to be good with your guys' time, but I think all of us.
I'm good. New. As long as you want to go, I'm good. So if Severe good, then
I'm good, brother.
Hey, I'm about to finish my bottle.
Don't say that. I'm gonna fill up my ice chest again. I got a little. Look at this, dude. I came prepared this time because I still got the same bottle.
One day.
I still got the same bottle, but I bring a cooler right next to me this time.
Oh, I ain't that good. Yeah, I can't do a cooler. I'll do a bottle. I'll do a bottle in a day, but I can't do too much more.
I'm with you. So real quick, we all started around the same time. I posted my first video back in week 3 when we played against the Steelers last year.
Yeah.
And so, Chris, I know you started fairly recently.
Last April.
All listeners, all that. Why'd you start your channel?
You know what? I started my channel because we were like, I got tired of listening. Like, honestly, I started because I was in right in the middle of the civil war of Raider Nation, of Carr.
Derek
you
Carr
either
and all.
Love Carr, you didn't love Carr, and I got so tired of it because I'm a fan. I'm from Ohio, man, so it's like I don't get into a lot of the politics that go on in California and all that stuff. I'm just a Raider fan. I love my team. I go travel to go see my team, but I got tired of people that just put players before the brand, before the shield. So therefore, I'm like, and I got tired of debating people that really didn't know football. And I'm like, man, what am I doing? Like, why am I spending all this time debating in chat rooms and debate? I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna try to create my own platform. And I'm like, what do I want my platform to be about? Like, what do I stand for as a person? I'm like, man, the shield comes first. So then I kind of went through that. I'm like, it's all about the shield. And I'm like, you know what? Protect the shield. I'm like, honestly, and that's how I came up with this. I talked to my nephew. We kind of talked about different things, and it's like, I'm all about protecting the shield. Like I love players. Everybody knows. Like I loved Carr at one point, but I was comfortable enough to say, Carr, I love what you did for us, but it's time to move on. I don't hate you. It's nothing personal, but this shield comes first. Like this is me. He got more muscles than me. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you got to have somebody that protects the shield. You know what I'm saying? So that's like, that's a strong version of me. You know what I'm saying? So
you just catfishing everybody.
Exactly. I catfish everybody.
Like
when you meet me, you might think I'm like this, but then you're gonna see this. Be like, but what? I still beat you up. You know what I'm saying? No matter.
I'll still come at you.
No, but honestly, that's what it is, man. I wanted to be something different. I didn't want to be a guy that's always negative. I didn't want to be a guy that's overly passionate about certain things. I just wanted to be someone that was just objective. And that's why I'm all about being authentic. Like if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like I was wrong about McDaniels. I'm the first guy to say when we hired him, I was intrigued because the Raider way was always getting a different type of coach. I felt we finally had a guy that's a strategic mastermind. It just didn't work. But it's all about protect the shield, man. So that's how I started.
I'm with you. Severe, go for it.
Yeah, man, I'm the same way. I've been, man, I don't even want to date myself, man, but I've been arguing in like Raider blogs and Raider articles, bro, since like, I don't know if you guys were on there was a blog, the IB a Buzz was like a Raiders blog. There's like a big like Raiders chat room on about.com. Like I've just been arguing this stuff for years, man. So, I saw people were doing it. And I think like one of my first videos was like my post draft reaction to Tyree. Like I made like 2 videos before that, but like my first real like long video was like my post reaction to Tyree, and then I sent it to some folks, man.
Were you happy?
Nah, man, I wasn't happy. No.
Is it still on there? I might need to go back and watch it. Is it still on there to this day?
It's still on there. It's still on there.
I gotta watch it.
And what's crazy? Look, my scouting report of look at my scouting report.
It's accurate, huh? It's accurate.
The exact same.
Severe. Severe? When you post that first video, were you sitting in your car? I
was sitting in my car. Yeah.
I saw it. Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah. Matter of fact, bro. As a matter of fact, this is like personal. I was going through a divorce at the time, so I was like, man, I was just looking for an outlet. And matter of fact, I was like at court. They sent me to make me wait for something. So I was in my car. I was like, man, the draft just happened. So I'm in here, man. Let me make a video. Make a video about this draft pick. So I made it, man. I sent it to a few people, a few like content creators I followed on IG. One of them was Big Mike. And Big Mike was like, yeah, man, like
I fuck with Big Mike. I fuck with Big Mike heavy.
Real man. Big Mike looked out big time for me, man. So he was just like, hey, like I'm about to do a show, like you should hop on. And then that's when I hopped on the show. My very first live stream ever, I was on with Protected or Chris, and we were arguing about Josh Jacobs back then. Still arguing about Josh Jacobs to this day. Still arguing about. I'm still standing on
we'll argue about Josh Jacobs.
Still standing on business about Josh Jacobs. So.
Hey, he averaged 7 yards per carry today. Just saying, bro.
But yeah, so like, and then I used to always, so Pharaoh had his lives. I would always like, they would like have people call in, so I would call in like once a week and just like have rants like about like all kind of stuff
about Eichenberg 3 years ago.
About
Eichenberg. I know we're gonna draft him.
He was a freshman at Ohio State.
I know he's coming our way.
3 years from now, we're gonna draft this dude. That's all kind of stuff, man.
His bird's gonna die.
The main thing I would argue about on there was that my main thing, like this, they knew me as a CJ Stroud guy because I was my thing was like, we need to draft CJ Stroud. I said back then, By his third year in the league, CJ Stroud's going to be a top 7 quarterback in the NFL. Man, and I said he was Joe Burrow with a little bit better arm strength and more mobility. And I said he was going to be special, and that if we didn't figure out a way to get him, we would regret it. And that
Severe,
seems to be holding true.
Let me ask you though, because I'm a firm believer that quarterbacks, there's so many variables that determine whether a quarterback's going to be good in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's the product around them. It's the coaching staff. It's the offensive coordinator. It's the passing coordinator. It's the quarterback coach, the whole nine, right?
Yeah.
Do you think, and I'll tell you right now, when there were reports that we're going to trade it for CJ Stroud, I didn't want to do it. Not because I didn't think CJ Stroud
I'm with you.
Not because I didn't think CJ Stroud was going to be good. I thought Josh McDaniels would ruin his career because I didn't think Mark Davis had what it took to fire Josh McDaniels. I give Mark credit, all the credit in the world now because he did it. But I thought Josh McDaniels would screw CJ Stroud's career, at least in the beginning or however it plays out. And we would have to trade up to get him, and we would have wasted picks and all that stuff. So that's why I didn't want him, because I thought Josh McDaniels was absolutely ruining his career. So if we would have got him, do you think Josh McDaniels actually would have made something out of him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unequivocally. Without question. Without
question.
Look at what people thought about I don't even remember the guy's name. The guy that's in Jacksonville now. God dang, Alabama.
Trevor Lawrence.
No, Alabama quarterback.
Mac Jones.
Mac Jones. Look at what people thought about Mac Jones coming off of that first year. What they thought the kind of player he could be. And that was under the Josh McDaniels system. I think Josh McDaniels does well with quarterbacks. Look at Tom Brady, okay. Right? I don't want to give him credit for Tom Brady. Tom Brady's Tom Brady,
but being an offensive coordinator versus a head coach is very different.
But I think when you have a franchise quarterback, because look at John Gruden and Derek Carr. When you have a franchise quarterback and a young quarterback like that, you take a very intimate interest in the development of that particular player. And I think in that role, because what happened with, I think Devontae, I don't want to get into this is going to get to like a whole different tangent. But if you listen on the receiver show, right, listen to what Devontae was saying. It's like not necessarily guys didn't like Josh McDaniels, is that they weren't winning. They weren't winning. So if I'm beating your head in every day, I'm criticizing you in practice, I'm going ham, and we're not achieving the desired result, like, and you haven't changed anything, then like eventually people are going to turn on you. I don't think we lose all those 1-score games in the beginning if we have a guy like CJ Stroud. I think we do. I think we do much better. So I think you build some equity with the team, and that allows your young quarterback to also develop. And I think CJ Stroud is he's just the kind of person who I think can still thrive under duress.
Chris, I'll let you go, but give me.
Go ahead.
There's a big difference between demanding perfection, winning, excellence, and being able to coach it. And coach it to a 53-man squad.
That's a good point too.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a big difference. Like, you're not just coaching to the superstars, because this is a team sport. Like, Devontae Adams is going to perfect excellence, right? Or demand excellence. Same with Max Crosby. All those, like, there's levels to coaching.
Yeah.
You're as good as your weakest link on the offensive line. Well, same with this football team, right? If injuries happen, you bring somebody in, you better hope that person performs, because as a unit, you have to perform well. And you have to make sure that you could reach out to the team, not just superstars. And yes, Devontae Adams demand excellence. Same with Max Crosby. I get it 100%. And Josh McDaniels could be 100%. I demand excellence. But you also have to be able to coach it. And I think that's where McDaniels' hangup was. I mean, you saw that one clip when, and all it takes, I'll be honest, like you don't have to take a lot off of one clip. But when Josh McDaniels was yelling at Malcolm Coons for touching Carr, yelling at him, saying, what the F are you doing? Get the F out of here, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, well, one, you don't talk to a grown man like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's ways to talk to professional athletes. There's ways to coach these guys up. And I think that's where Josh McDaniels failed completely, was he couldn't coach the locker room. And so that's just kind of where my concern was with him. And that's why I wasn't sure. Yes, he could have made CJ Stroud. He could have made him good, but would he corral the rest of the team, the rest of the locker room, to ensure that we had a sustainable success? I just don't know. But
I think if you're winning, you have that credibility. Like, perfect example, I think about basketball, right? I'll take it to a little bit of different sport, because even more so in basketball, players have more power than coaches, right? Like, you would agree, right? A superstar player in basketball has more.
You look at LeBron.
Yeah, because only 5 people. Only 5 on the team.
So you think about a guy like, we all know. I think most people here know Steven Jackson from the all the smoke pocket, right? So we all know the kind of dude he is, right? He's a hothead. He pops off. But he talked about Greg Popovich just going ham like crazy, mother effing Tim Duncan, like the most mild-mannered guy in the history of the NBA.
That's wild to think about. That's wild.
And he's like, man, like, well, what can I really say to Greg Popovich? Because not only are we winning, but he's doing the same thing to Tim Duncan. Like, if Tim Duncan ain't popping back, how can I pop back? And we're getting the results. I think that we had guys like Max Crosby and Devontae who Max has said himself, like, he comes from the old school. He doesn't mind that kind of coaching. He likes being coached hard.
Absolutely.
But when you have these other guys and you're coaching them this hard, or you're keeping them in these long practices, or you're overcorrecting them every single time, and you're doing all this stuff, and you're not achieving the results, then it comes to a point where, bro, like, why are you wasting my time at this point? Like, you're not using my time efficiently, because what you're doing obviously isn't working. And I think his problem was he wasn't twofold. I think that as Devontae alluded to as well, is that he didn't have the horses. Shout out to Zamir White, right? He didn't have the right players that fit his philosophy and his system. He didn't even get one. We got one full offseason. And he got hired late in the process, his first offseason, and basically was working with the previous regime's scouts and their scouting reports and their scouting department. And then he got this one full offseason, and then he was gone a quarter of the season into it. So he never really got to stamp his philosophy on this team fully with his guys. So I mean, like I said, I mean, I think we did what we had to do. I think he had to go, just because the morale of the team was so low at that point. And like, it's much easier to get rid of a head coach than it is to remake an entire roster. But I know he didn't get the opportunity with his guys. And Devontae said it himself. But the stuff they were doing was so complicated. You need a specific kind of player that has a specific football IQ and the requisite work ethic. And I think we lacked that throughout this roster. So I think that was a huge issue there as well.
I'm with you. It's tough because, I wasn't, I don't want to get into the card conversation, but I wasn't, I think they did card dirty, but at the same time, I think I was actually just having a conversation with some people here in the Vegas area. They're doing a big pregame for our preseason game thing, and the conversation came up, and it's tough because I think the transition where it kind of happened with the locker room, not with just necessarily McDaniels, but Max Crosby started to slowly become kind of that leader of the locker room with his play. And Derek Carr just wasn't the leader we needed. Yeah, he was a leader.
Yes.
But he led it in a different way. It was more emotional, right? Where Max Crosby had just a different way of leading. And I think the locker room was more willing to get behind the Max Crosby way as opposed to the Carr way. And there was that meeting of the road a little bit of who do we go behind? Who do we follow? And so, yeah, I think that it was good to move on from Carr. I may not have been a fan of it in the situation because I think I wasn't a fan of McDaniels. But I think at the end of the day, moving us more towards the Max Crosby way is the Raider way, which I'm a complete fan of. So, I'm excited about that 100%. I think this just the mentality, and you look at AP. AP is bringing a whole nother vibe to this.
Agreed.
Yeah.
And there's been all the talks, which is going to come up real big in the next couple of weeks because we obviously play Vegas. Or sorry, we play LA week 1, right?
Yeah. But it's home game in LA.
Home away game.
Hey, are you going to that 805?
That's still up in the air.
You need to, man. We gonna have a good time, man. You gotta come on out.
So a little bit about myself. Since I was 18 years old, I'm 41 now. I'm old, kind of.
I'm your age, man.
No disrespect to the people older than me, but when I turned 18, me and my buddies back in Southern California, we would go to a Raider home game every year. Never missed one. And they're all going to that home opener. Same guys. And I'm like, damn, okay, I think I got to get there. But I'm planning on being there for the home opener here. I'm in the Vegas area.
Yeah.
So I'll be there for the Carolina game.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to go to.
You going to be at Cleveland? You going to be at Cleveland?
No, I ain't going to Cleveland.
Damn. See, I'll be at that week 4.
Are you in Cleveland, Chris?
No. The game's in Vegas. We play Cleveland.
Okay.
We play Cleveland though.
Oh, we do play Cleveland. Yeah.
But it's in Vegas.
I don't.
But no, I'm in Columbus though. I'm in Columbus. I'm in the Buckeye City.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Buckeye City.
And I'm Michigan, so I'll be beating Buckeyes up all day.
Hey, so I'll give you guys a quick story. So obviously diehard Raider fan, and I moved to Texas in 2015. So I was there for about 6 years, and then I moved to the Vegas area in 2020. And I'll tell you right now, I wore all my Raider stuff everywhere in Texas. Yeah. My wife was just like, "You're gonna get in fights." So I was like, "Yeah, I'm probably. Let's make it happen." And I got more credit about being a Raider fan in Texas than I ever did in California.
Yeah.
I mean, we would walk down the mall. We'd walk anywhere. I had my Raider shirts on, the whole nine. The amount of high fives that I would get just for being a Raider fan. Because I think Cowboy fans understand just the pain we go through.
Yeah.
Like if you're willing to walk around with a Raider shirt on in Dallas country, they're like, okay, you must be crazy. You must be real. And so, yeah, like just the amount of credit I got being a Raider fan in Texas. Because in California, I was born and raised in California, in Southern California, but you either hated or loved the Raiders. There's no in between.
Yeah.
Zero in between. And so that was the hard part. That was the hard part being in California. But loved it. Loved it every time I was in there. I was there when the Raiders played the joint practice with the Cowboys and the fight broke out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. Oh, that was a good one. Enjoyed that day.
Yes.
But no, yeah, man. Kind of like wrap back around. You guys started a channel. Just I started my channel because I stopped coaching like 4 years ago.
Yeah, what's your story with the coaching? Because did you play too? Did you play some?
So I played all the way up into basically junior college, and then I broke my collarbone, and I have the typical story of just injuries plagued me.
Yeah.
Actually, Jack Jones, Moore Park College. He that was his JC, and so that's in Southern California. And then, and then I got into coaching. I coached youth and high school ball over in Southern California. Then moved to Texas and coached ball there. And so collectively just coached 23 years of football and played for about 15 years.
Nice.
And so, but I stopped coaching. Because I was like, look, I have a full-time job. I held the full-time job through all my coaching years and playing years. And I wanted to give my time back to my wife and my kids because I got 3 girls. And the way I coach, it took so much time away. And so
I feel that. I feel
Yeah,
that.
and so I said, you know what, it's time. So I stepped away, and then we moved here in the Vegas area in 2020. And I'll be honest, I just kind of was like, look, I was getting that itch to coach, but I didn't want to coach because I didn't want to put that time back into coaching. And because I already, when I met my wife way back in the day, like she met me when I was playing and coaching and working, and so our life evolved around our kids and my work and my coaching. And so I nixed the coaching, and I was starting to get that itch, but I was like, you know what, I'm not going to coach. But I was like, you know what? I was so fed up with just how the Raiders, like Josh McDaniels, the Josh McDaniels did, like it got me so mad. And it was after that Bills game, opening drive, we score on the opening drive, and then we just fall flat the rest of the game. I'm sitting there going, okay, I'm done. Like, I'm going to go on here and just talk. Like, I'm just going to take my experience, my knowledge, share it, get some feedback. And I was like, look, I'm just going to talk. And you go back, if you see my very first video, like there was a week span of me having the idea of doing this and posting that first video.
Yeah, that's how it is. It's hard to start, bro.
Yeah,
but I was like, I didn't know what I was doing. I had no clue. But I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go in here and I'm just going to try. And at that point, it just kind of grew and it just kind of went on. But I've learned things along the way. But yeah, man, to me, it was more just I had to get on and I want to talk Raiders. And now I'm in the Vegas area. And so, you know, I want to be kind of involved in everything that goes on around here. And it's allowed me to meet a lot of really good people in this area. So I love it. I can't complain about it. And I enjoy it.
You met the real ones now, though. You met the real ones. You on screen with the real ones. You found you found us.
So
with the bad guys, man.
You with the bad guys now, man.
So I'll tell you right now, because I reached out to you guys because look, like I want to be able to have conversations with people that can break things down.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And take it outside of it. And big shout out to all the other channels. I love the other channels. You know, they do their thing. But I just come from more of a technical side where I want to break things down. You know, I want to get to the point where, once the season starts, I want to break film down. I'd love to do it.
Speak the details of the game, man. That's all I'm and honestly, and that's why I gravitate towards you when I first saw your stuff. And Severe know how I feel about him. Cause like I said, his very first joint I was on with him, and I'm like, I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh, he gonna be a star. And in my mind, I'm like, oh, nobody hip to him yet. I was in his DM like a female, like, hey, bro, you want to get on the show? Hey, he gave me a cold shoulder for damn near a year.
So here, look at this. The one thing, not the one thing, but like the thing, Severe, that I like about you is, man, bro, you have a memory about old school stuff. You're like, oh, do you remember back in 2014 when this happened? I'm like, no, like I don't. But you're like, but this happened on this down and blah. I'm like, damn, bro, like your memory is legit. You'll be like, oh, remember, like you spit off players that were like 4th string that got cut week 3 of the preseason type of thing. I'm just like, yeah, I don't know.
My guy Striker Sulak,
right? See, I'm telling you, it's just like, but you say things that it triggers my memory again. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and so that was when you and Farrah would jump on and stuff like that. It's like you bring up old school stuff too, which is cool because, you know, it's like you brought up the whole Colton Miller thing.
Yeah.
You know, when we drafted Colton Miller, and it triggered me. I actually was stoked on the Colton Miller pickup only because, if you remember, the Broncos picked up Bradley Chubb like 4 spots before us.
I like Bradley Chubb too.
And they had DeMarcus Ware on the other side.
Yeah.
And prior to that, there was another player I wanted us to pick. I forget who he was. But as soon as that pick happened, I was like, crap, we need to go offensive tackle.
Derwin? Was it Derwin?
Derwin James?
Was it Derwin? That was that same draft.
Yes, I think it was, actually. But I remember as soon as the Broncos picked up Bradley Chubb because they had DeMarcus Ware on the other side, I was like, oh crap, we got to go O-line. Yeah. And so I was actually with a bunch of people in Texas at the time, bunch of Raider fans in Texas, and they all wanted somebody else. And as soon as the Broncos picked, I was like, no shit, flip it. We need to go O-line. And everybody's like, oh, no. I'm like, no, they have DeMarcus Ware and Bradley Chubb now. And we were hurting on the O-line. We need to solidify this O-line. And I thought it was a good pickup. I wasn't sold on that exact pick, but I thought it was a great just addressing the offensive line. And so, yeah, no, when I started listening to you, one of the things that I like to mean, you would bring up old school stuff back in the day. And you just I was like, damn, okay, I'm going down memory lane, damn it.
Yeah.
All right.
Been watching this team for a long time, man. I've been knowing some old school people, man. Like people forget Orrin O'Neal. Remember Orrin O'Neal?
What?
Orrin O'Neal, man.
Orrin O'Neal. I thought I would go to my grave not hearing his name again.
Orrin O'Neal. I mean, Orrin O'Neal would have been a cold fullback, man. Chad Shillings, Armand
Shillings.
Shillings. I like Chad.
Armand Shillings never panned out, but he was supposed to be a guy.
He was a big dude. He was a big dude.
Yeah, I think he went to like San Diego State. He goes San Diego State.
Yeah, he was a big dude. I
remember Armand Shields out of Richmond. He was supposed to be a dog. He never turned into anything. Like, yeah,
all I gotta say is I don't know if you go to sleep at night rapping off like names that you've seen.
C.O. Moore.
Yeah, it's just like years ago.
Man.
So, yeah, I don't know if you do that in your life.
Johnny Lee Higgins.
Oh man, Johnny Lee Higgins. I think he went to same school as what you call it, right? Cincy or University of Texas.
Yeah. Was he a Texas Tennessee guy?
He go UTEP.
UTEP.
Yeah, he went to UTEP.
Johnny Lee Higgins.
Johnny Lee Higgins. I mean, I thought he was gonna be a man. Nearing Ball, the linebacker. Oh my goodness.
Hey,
that takes me back.
I gotta stay up on the chat. My bad, guys. First time doing it, but hey, shout out to everybody in the chat.
Good, man. We having fun.
I know. I appreciate you guys. I hate that we go off on tangents, but you guys have been good, even though we got a King 415 Niner fan.
He's a Raider fan, bro.
He is a Raider fan because he literally is at all the Raider events.
Man,
he's honorary. Honestly, I enjoy him in here, man.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I saw the Raider, I'm like, damn, dude, is my dad in here? Because my parents are diehard Niner fans.
Oh wow,
they're diehard Niner fans.
I liked Rod Streeter.
Rod Streeter was cool.
My bad.
So like they're diehard Niner fans, and so I went to the dark side.
Ricky Dudley.
So Ricky Dudley.
That's why I love the chat, bro, because they just bring up shit you.
They just bring up random names. I love it. Yeah,
Ricky Dudley.
What was my guy? What's my name? My guy from Miami. Clive Walford.
Clive Walford, yes.
The tight end.
Hey, I thought he was gonna be good. Okay,
I thought he was gonna be good too.
I thought he was gonna be good.
I forgot about him, bro.
I thought he was gonna be good too, man. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, it was some dudes. That's why I be giving people passes, but they be having like they pet players. It's some dudes that I just swore up and down, like, yo, this dude is gonna be a dog. Watch. Watch.
You know who the one I thought was gonna be good was I really thought Arden Key was gonna be good. I thought Arden Key was gonna be good, and then who was the guy that we got? Shalik something. Shalik.
Oh, Shalik Calhoun out of Michigan.
Shalik Calhoun.
I thought Shalik Calhoun was gonna be fire.
He never
Clemson, right?
Anything.
Nah, Shalik Calhoun. I think he was like Michigan State, wasn't it?
Michigan State. Yeah.
I thought he was gonna be a dog.
Yeah, but he was the one that had Doug Jolly. He was the one that had didn't he end up having like a knee issue coming out of college or something?
I don't remember, but like I think Shalik Calhoun, he led the Big Ten in sacks.
Yeah,
like
he was a dog.
Yeah, like he was supposed to be nice, bro, and then he just. Oh man,
I just remember Shalik Calhoun could have been just the trend of just injured players after what was it? DJ Hall. They had like
DJ Hayden.
They had like the open heart surgery before drafting,
bro. He had a heart issue. He almost died.
R.I.P.
injury.
Man. Yeah, R.I.P. DJ Hayden.
Yeah.
He ended up dying.
Yeah.
He did. What was crazy is that he died in the car crash. And I remember that
he had a heart issue.
The issue he had, that heart issue he had, like they was like, man, yeah, we usually only see this type of heart injury like in car crashes, and then he ended up dying like years later in an actual car crash, which is like,
oh, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Where is it? No, I could not go to that one.
Heisman.
So a bunch of our boys back in the day, we went to the Rose Bowl with Charles Woodson. When he played and all that stuff. And no, I could not go to that one. I wish I could. I remember that going down, and I couldn't. But yeah,
out that year. I remember, man. Woodson.
Robert Gallery. God damn it.
Who was that center we took? What was the center we took in the second round out of Virginia Tech?
Shit. What's his name?
We drafted Robert Gallery first round. We drafted the center second round out of Virginia Tech. I forget his name. I'm still mad to this day because, man, that's like when I really first started getting like super into the draft,
bro.
And I was a big Megatron fan. But then I wanted us to draft, and I think Brady Quinn was like probably the top quarterback prospect that year. But then
what year? Oh, you're talking about Jamarcus Russell year.
Jamarcus Russell, yeah. Well, yeah. But Robert Gallery. Who else was in that? That was Larry Fitzgerald. Roy Williams.
I think AP. I think Adrian Peterson was in that draft. I think.
Well, yeah, that's the Jamarcus Russell. I'm talking about the Robert Gallery. That was Larry Fitzgerald, Roy Williams.
Oh, maybe Roy Williams. Yeah,
Larry Fitzgerald, Roy Williams.
Yeah.
Who else? It was other dogs, but Larry Fitzgerald was the guy I wanted that year. I played wide receiver, so I always wanted wide receiver.
Yeah,
every year we need, but we always needed one. We always needed a wide receiver.
Detroit always got him.
Bro, yeah, man.
Wow. Hey, but hold on. You know what? Now, okay, and sorry, 805. I gotta ask you guys this because I always bring this up.
Well, Chris, you keep talking. I'm gonna see if I can switch this to see if this works. Hold on.
My bad.
No. What if I'm gonna do this? How do I get Severe on the screen?
Oh, wait, he was on there.
You and Severe on the screen.
It was just me.
All right, hold on.
Wait, so what are you trying to do?
So I gotta run. I gotta run. Turn the light on real quick.
Oh well, here we'll just remove yourself, and then just me and Severe will be on there. But change the format. Change it to like the there you go.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, Severe, I got this for you. Because everybody think I'm crazy, and you was a. What's your thoughts on Lane Kiffin? I think I am the only one on this planet that understood Lane's vision. And I've always liked Lane Kiffin. I'm not mad at Lane Kiffin. I don't think he was a bad coach. I love the vision he had for us. But Al Davis during the end of his years, his senile years, messes up. Lane Kiffin would have got us all the way together. So I want to know, what's your thoughts on Lane Kiffin? Maybe it's just me, but I want to hear your thoughts.
So I have mixed feelings on Lane Kiffin. I think that Lane Kiffin first of all, he should have never got the job. He should have never got the job.
I agree there. I do agree there.
His highest, at that point, his highest level of coaching was co-offensive coordinator
with Steve Sark. Yeah.
Him and Sark were so like he should have never got the job in the first place. But if Al Davis was going to give him the job,
he should have let him do the job.
Let him do the job. And I think that part of his inexperience, because I remember that draft, and that was obviously the Jamarcus Russell, Calvin Johnson draft. That's what will always go be for me.
That's what I'm saying.
I wanted Jamar. I remember exactly what I wanted. I wanted not Jamarcus. I wanted Calvin Johnson first overall, and then the second I wanted Drew Stanton, who turned out to be a bust.
Woo!
Or if we drafted a guy in the third, that's the year Troy Smith came out. Troy Smith was my favorite college player that year. So Troy Smith had won the Heisman. So
I knew Troy wasn't gonna be nice in the NFL. I knew
he was too
short.
But if Troy Smith came along now, I think he'd be a different story. I think he'd be solid.
He'd be
cool. He'd be cool. But what the reports were that Lane Kiffin did a lot of waffling back and forth. Like at first he wanted Brady Quinn, then he wanted somebody else, and then he finally kind of settled on Calvin Johnson. And then we had already picked up like Josh. We already had Josh McCown there. Yeah. So like the plan was, hey, you know what? I think what he wanted to do was draft Calvin Johnson and have Josh McCown there, and let Josh McCown essentially just be the starter until we can get a quarterback.
Nope.
Of course, Al
He
Davis.
He wanted to put a trade in for that guy that was sitting on the bench in Green Bay.
Oh, for Randy. Was that gonna be Randy?
It may have been for Randy
because we had opportunity.
Well, no. Honestly, I think back then, I remember reading an article. I think we could have gave up a 2nd round pick to go get that guy that was sitting on the bench at Green Bay.
Good, because I know when we traded Randy, because Randy and Brett Favre were tight, and Brett Favre always wanted to play with Randy. So when we were making that Randy Moss trade, and I could be wrong, but I think there was because I think Green Bay was one of the teams we were talking to, and I think we could have basically extracted Aaron Rodgers out of that deal if we kind of forced their hand, and we basically elected not to. So then we end up with the 4th round pick, and we turned into with John Bowie.
From Cincinnati. But that's what I'm saying though. It's like no matter how you twist and turn it, like imagine a team with Aaron Rodgers and Megatron. Like no matter what you say about Lane Kiffin, and on top of that, he wanted the great Monty Kiffin to run the defense. Like, come on, man. Come on.
So I think the problem. So I would have your back on the Lane Kiffin thing if when he didn't get his way, he didn't go nuclear.
He definitely went nuclear.
So if he didn't get what he wanted, and he was just like, know what, I'm going to resign. I don't want to. I'll go back to college or whatever. I would be right there with you. But instead, he just basically low key just went into sabotage mode. Was like, okay, well, I'm just going to.
But hold on. No, I get what you're saying, but okay.
And also, I don't think we had the personnel to run the cover 2. So that's another thing. Like Nandi Aswad, we saw what Nandi Aswad looked like.
No, you're right. No, you're right there.
We saw what he looked like.
But Monty's a great. He's literally top 10 greatest defensive minded coaches ever to me.
Yeah.
But was that when we had?
Was
that when we had Nnamdi? We had who's on the opposite? Stanford route.
Right, Stanford route, probably.
Yeah, bro. Those aren't cover 2 corners.
No. But that's what I'm saying. But but who knows? But my thing is, he's a great coach. Who he probably would have made it work. What he had.
Tyvon Branch is gonna come on, bro. Tyvon Branch.
Don't talk bad about Tyvon Branch.
Shout out to Tyvon, bro.
Tyvon Branch, man.
Tyvon Branch. Hey, he rocked a good number. That was my number.
Man.
I love him.
Was he 37?
33.
33. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, it was 33. So we had somebody that was 37. Who was 37? Was that Anthony Dorsett Jr. that was 37?
Forgot about
bro,
him.
Hold on. You see what I'm saying? Severe's talking about like third stringers.
Yeah. No, but I'm with him. Like I'm on that same type of time. I remember that era so well, and I just hate when people.
Ben Heaney. Oh my God, out of Kansas. People thought Ben Heaney was. People thought Ben, like, that's why we talking about Tommy Eichenberg. People felt that same way about Ben Heaney. Oh man, he's all about football. But Ben Heaney was undersized though. So
he was so undersized. Yeah, he was.
But he was super undersized.
But he was studying college though.
He was studying college. Like, bro, come on. So that's like, come on, man. Come on, Doc.
I don't know. My whole point, and I didn't mean to derail us, so I just don't like the Lane Kiffin slander because Lane Kiffin could have changed our whole trajectory, man.
Okay, here we go. All right,
let's go, Samir.
I remember what it was. I don't know all of them. I don't remember. I remember
Tanner Muse.
Oh man, Tanner Muse.
Yeah, is a hybrid considered?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, man. I already brought up what Slade Norris, Striker Sulak. They brought up Miles Burris, Ben Heaney, Romo. I'm trying to think who else.
Curtis Bolton,
Luke Masterson, weapon.
Curtis
Boyd,
Boyd.
he's just light skinned.
Mixed.
He's light skinned.
Greg Beaker. Greg Beaker.
Greg Beaker was a dog. Oh
He
my
was
god.
a dog.
He was a man.
Greg Beaker would lay a hit on you.
He would. He was not playing no games.
You wouldn't get up. But yeah, man, I can't wreck with you on
Miles Burris.
Lane Kiffin, man. Miles Burris. I
liked Miles Burris.
I liked
Miles Burris.
He brought up Kirk Morrison, the law firm. My guy,
him and
Thomas Howard.
Thomas Howard.
I think Thomas Howard went to UTEP too. He's another guy.
Yeah, Thomas Howard. Them both of them dudes ran like 4.5s. They was fast.
Thomas Howard was Thomas Howard
like a running back, wasn't he?
He was converted safety.
Is that what it was? Yeah, he was fast. I like Thomas Howard. I remember him taking a pick to the crib.
Oh man, his cover skills was crazy. Cameron Wembley
from Cleveland. I like Cameron. Cameron Wembley was nice at Florida State.
He was nice.
We had the other guy too. Who's the other guy? I want to say he was there the same time as Cameron Wembley. We got him from the Jaguars though. He had dreads. Damn, what's my guy's name? I mean, I think he passed away too recently. Can't think of my guy's name.
Cameron, yeah, I don't know.
Dang.
Who's the edge rusher that
Derek Burgess?
Was it? Yes.
Derek Burgess. From Michigan.
Okay, severe.
Yeah,
from Michigan.
I'm telling you, like Derek Burgess, I hated the fact that we got rid of him.
He was so small, but he was nice. And then he went to the Seahawks and started balling there too.
He was
right?
nasty. I mean, how do you get rid of? I don't know. To me, when we got rid of him, I didn't understand it.
Oh no! Oh man, I got one for you guys.
Okay, let's get ready.
This was going to bring you because I was going to bring up Tommy Kelly, but I got one.
Tommy Kelly. I like Tommy Kelly.
I like Tommy Kelly too, but I got one better than Tommy Kelly. This is going to bring up because this is a great name too, and it was oh my goodness.
Severe.
Another guy. It's another guy.
You hyping us up. You hyping us up.
Yeah, it better be good. Right. It better be good.
And look, yeah, you guys are gonna remember this. Turdell Sands.
No, Turdell Sands was like 6'9", bro.
Turdell Sands.
He was like 6'9", 400 pounds.
Bro, I thought Turdell Sands was gonna be a dog. I thought Turdell Sands. Who's the guy that played for the Jaguars? That played with your player's dad. Well, your old defensive tackle's dad, Chris Jenkins. Him and Chris Jenkins played together in Carolina. No, he played in Chris Jenkins played in Carolina. This guy was Henderson. Something Henderson.
Oh, John Henderson?
John Henderson. I thought Turdell Sands was gonna be like John Henderson.
Yeah, it was big as hell. He was big as hell. Like you know the crazy thing, I had Stu Swaggart on the show, and I think he gave me a story. Actually, he gave me a funny Lane Kiffin. I need to get Stu back on the show, but he gave me a funny Lane Kiffin story, and Turdell Sands was in it, but I forgot it, man. It was like, God, I gotta get it. But Turdell Sands was like 6'9", 400 pounds, bro.
Yes.
Huge. Yeah, he was huge. He was big, man.
I don't even know why his name popped in my head, bro. I remember that dude.
It's because you wrap these names at night, man. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how you come up with these names.
I remember there's a story. I think Tommy Kelly was telling, and this is when I knew it was over for the Raiders. This is when I knew. This is when I was like pushing like Al Davis sell the team. Like Tommy Kelly was saying that like the Raiders were still getting like signed checks. Like they were like Al Davis was like signing checks and giving them to players. This was like in the 2000s. I'm like, yo, we still like he ain't got direct deposit set up. I was like, bro, it's time for you to sell the team, bro.
Hey, okay, here's my last one. I promise I'm gonna fall back and let AO5 do it. Okay, I just gotta ask you guys, what was y'all's lowest moment as a Raider fan? Like when were you guys just like, oh my gosh?
I got mine.
Yeah, what's yours?
And honestly, it has nothing to do. It was more of a. I'll say this one, and then I'll think of like an actual Raider one. It was like, so I just told you guys I have three girls. I have 3 daughters, right? And my middle daughter came up, and it was Christmas Day, and she goes, are the Raiders playing? I was like, oh yeah. Well, when are the Chiefs playing? Because isn't Taylor Swift dating a Chiefs player?
Oh man,
I was like,
that's
no,
bad.
you didn't. No, you
That's
didn't.
bad.
I was like, no, you didn't. Like,
not in my house.
so I'll give you guys a real quick story. So I have manipulated my kids to be Raider fans. Okay. Like we've had a rough 20 years. All right.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. And so when my oldest daughter, she's 18, every opening kickoff Sunday, right? Opening week, they get their shirts and they get donuts. That's what I do. Right. And then whenever we play, every time the Raiders score a touchdown, I got this big old, like, I got a big old box of bowl of candy. They can pick candy every time they score a touchdown. So I've manipulated the crap out of them to be Raider fans. Okay.
They make sure they Raider fans. They're going to associate Raider with candy.
Oh, yeah.
and if they win, we get to go get ice cream. Like I've done this, right? And so this is what I've done. And last season, my middle daughter, she was like, yeah, Taylor Swift, she's dating the Kansas City Chiefs player. Like, I think I'm a Kansas City fan. I was like, okay. So every time Kansas City scores a touchdown on the Raiders, I'm taking your candy. you ain't getting candy. Like, because every time it was bad. So that was probably, I'll be honest, that was my lowest just because it has ties to my kids. But my God, dude, my lowest. Let me think about my lowest. I don't know, man. Severe. What do you got a lowest?
My lowest, outside of drafting Jamarcus Russell, just because I saw the writing on the wall.
That wasn't my lowest, bro. Jamarcus Russell was
and,
my lowest.
Look, chat, I'm gonna be better about it. Let us know if you guys are out there, like, what's your lowest?
So
let us know, chat.
I got two. I got the game against, and I knew this was gonna happen, bro. I knew this was gonna happen. But the game against St. Louis.
Oh, I was there. Literally, I was at that game, bro. St. Louis Rams. They beat us like,
it was like when they came in doing like the hands up, don't shoot. I'm like, these bros. I'm like, they about to stop a mud hole in the sun.
Severe. Hold on. It's so wild you say that, bro. I got videos about because I was there. It was because of the protest.
The protest, yes,
bro. I was at that game. Look, I'm okay. I'm gonna give you just some extra shit about that game. So I don't know if you guys remember on the Food Network back then. There was I don't know if it was a Food Network or whatever, but there was it was a reality show called Sweetie Pies or something. It was like a soul food place.
Yeah.
Where
my daughter used to watch that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my fat ass was at Sweetie Pies the day before the game because I love soul food, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I get there, they like, oh, the whole Raider team just left. In my mind, I'm like, bro, they got a game tomorrow. Why are they eating Sweetie Pie? Like, why y'all eat like you know what I'm saying? Like most teams eat like a spaghetti dinner. Like why are y'all eating some big ass, heavy ass? So that was the first strike. I was like, okay. Like, why y'all eating cornbread and sweet potato pie before a game? Dog, they got waxed. I left at like the third quarter because I was like, they was like, oh, the protest is outside. So everyone that was part of like the protests around there, what was that area? Ferguson. The Ferguson.
Ferguson.
So they did a whole walk out there, and I got the video on my phone of the Ferguson protest out. I left the game because it was like 50-0. Like you said, the players came out and did the little fist thing, and I'm like, this ain't gonna be good. And y'all went to Sweetie Pies yesterday.
Exactly.
We got our ass kicked. My bad. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I was at that game and it pissed me off, and I left in the third quarter. It was bad. My bad. Sorry, go ahead, Severe, man. You triggered me. You literally triggered me, bro.
Memories came back.
Yeah, like I remember that game. Like I was like, why are y'all at Sweetie Pies, man? Go eat. Go drink a smoothie. Like, why are you eating Sweetie Pies, man? Sorry, guys.
Yeah, like it's hard. I'll be honest. I mean, you guys have that, but I'll tell you right now, like it's I think for myself, the lowest moment was when you get your, and it's just a personal thing for me. It's like when you get your kids just so ramped up to like watch a game, be all about Raiders and all that stuff, and they just don't perform.
Yeah.
When you think they're actually gonna perform, like when you think you're gonna go into a game and beat somebody up and you're all hyped about it, you're about it, and it just doesn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And so that's hard. That's hard across the board. I've been
yeah, my boy. Kick the internet wire out.
It was because your Eichenberg talk. I think it was Eichenberg cut your cord. I'll be honest. I think there's, when you go 20 years with just so many low moments, like it's like how do you pick one? In all honesty, whether it be like a draft pick, or whether it be just a lost game to get to potentially move forward in last year against the Colts.
Yeah.
To me, that was a huge disappointment. I wanted AP to continue on and potentially make the playoffs and give us hope that like he solidifies himself as the head coach. I thought we were going to go in and beat the Colts.
Yeah.
And it just didn't happen. And it's like, don't get me wrong, a lot of things against us, all that, but I'm like, damn, I thought we could go in and beat the Colts.
Yeah.
But it just didn't happen. The amount of times that we've had just so much disappointment over the last 20 years, but let's flip it on the bright side, right? To me, some of the greatest games I think I've ever seen as a Raider fan is one, the timeout by Derek Carr. That game was amazing.
Chargers game, that was a good one.
That was the one where I put my kids to bed and I said, "Don't bother me. We're going in overtime.
Yeah.
Like I'm done. Like you don't talk to me. Like you can't bother me." And then that Kansas City game in Oakland. What was it? 5 years ago that went into overtime.
Is the Crabtree game where you have to like
Crabtree game where we had like 5 penalties towards the tail end of the game?
Oh my goodness, that was one of the best moments ever.
Ever.
What game? What we talking about?
The game where it's like we were at the goal line, we kept getting pass interference penalties.
Jared Cook should have caught the ball at the beginning of the end zone.
So another game I was at, which was probably the funnest game I was at, was the Saints game. It was a Saints game. It was week 1, and Jack Del Rio let his nuts hang because we scored at the end of the game. He went for the 2-point conversion and threw it to Crabtree. That was my guy at that game. That game
back
was
to the end zone, right? Back to the end zone.
My guy had a touchdown that game.
Who?
Our old third down running back.
Third down.
Spook. They called him Spook.
Oh, Jalen Richard.
Jalen Richard had that long touchdown.
We had him and what? Washington.
It was Washington.
DeAndre Washington.
Yeah, DeAndre.
Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, with Texas Tech guy. Went to school Patrick Mahomes. Yeah,
man. Hey, Severe do be remembering them, dude. Like I be thinking, man, sometimes Severe be even deeper to that bag than I do.
He's got an index of these names. I'm telling you, man.
My guy. Oh man, this guy, another guy. This is a good one too. This is what I caught. Everybody was a fan of Emmanuel Forbes last year. I told everybody Emmanuel Forbes.
Yeah, like I liked Forbes. I ain't gonna lie.
I told everybody's gonna be proud. I told people Emmanuel Forbes is DeMarcus Van Dyke.
No. DeMarcus Van Dyke was fast as fuck, though, bro.
He was fast.
He was fast as hell.
He ran like a 4.2 or 4.3.
He was nice in Madden. He was nice in Madden, though.
He was skinny. He was skinny as all get out, bro.
He was skinny. DeMarcus Van Dyke. Where'd he go? I forgot where he go.
Where'd he go? For college, or where'd he go after us?
College. Where we get him from?
I think Miami. I'm pretty sure it's Miami.
Yeah, it was Miami. Damn, DeMarcus. What we call him? DVD.
Yeah,
DVD.
Oh, it's another one.
Them joints,
we having
bro.
some trash corners, man. I think it's remember Chimdi Chekwa?
Chimdi. Oh, God.
I'm down. Wait,
that was a Tennessee kid, right?
Nah,
He
he's
came
from Ohio
from
State.
Tennessee.
Yeah,
He was Ohio State. That's right.
Nah,
That's right.
He from the town, y'all. He from the town. I rock with Chimdi because I know his people. So I ain't. Nah,
you can't say nothing about it. Look, you can't say nothing about it. We can talk out.
Yeah, y'all can, but hey, on camera, hey, shout out to Chimdi, man.
I had hopes. I had high hopes for Chimdi Chekwa, bro. I had high hopes. I thought Chimdi Chekwa was gonna be nice because he had the athletic profile. He did,
and he honestly had like good hips and he was well coached.
We need to stay away from corners too.
I'll be honest.
Yeah. Big Ten corners ain't for us, man.
They're not. Chimdi, bro. Chimdi, damn. I heard shout out to Chimdi.
But that's Sam Tanka. Lowest point was Bo Jackson getting hurt.
Oh yeah.
That's gotta be. And
okay.
Oh wait, hold on. Okay. The Khalil Mack trade.
I wasn't mad.
No,
I'm one of the few that wasn't mad. I'm one of the few.
I'm one of the few
really?
too. I'm one of the few too.
Yeah, I'm one of the few that wasn't mad. The thing is, because I didn't like his attitude about it. I felt like my thing is pick your side. I felt like he was dragging his feet. Like, pick your side. Do you want to be here or not? Like, he wouldn't even like.
Do you think the reports were true? Do you think the reports were true that he just refused to play for Gruden?
Maybe, but that's fine. But my thing is like, you just got here. Like, Gruden just got hired, so it's like, but it's not like you had a whole bunch of time with Gruden. Was like, nah, this ain't gonna work.
But
it's like Gruden just got hired, and all of a sudden you don't like him. I think it was more like Carr didn't leave enough money on the table.
There's that. But also, was it potentially you got Gruden, right? I don't remember what our salary cap situation was. I think it was horrible.
We were in trouble money-wise.
Yeah, I think it was horrible because McKenzie had to
clean up.
Yeah, McKenzie had to do his thing.
He had to clean some stuff up beforehand. But it's like, was it Gruden truly trying to make room for himself to possibly get guys on the books? I mean, he needed to move around money.
Yeah.
And so he was going to keep Carr because I think he truly liked Carr.
Yeah.
But did he move
Khalil? I think he wanted to keep Mac, man.
But do you move Khalil because that's that's the next big ticket name?
He got rid of Khalil and Amari. But I'm not mad at the Amari thing. Because Amari wasn't a dog. Amari was soft. But Khalil,
he was nice though.
But he was soft though. He was soft. Cornbread.
No. But he also led the league in drops.
Exactly.
That was the problem. He
was soft. He was Sermon.
When we were going into the Gruden days, I was like, okay, look, you're only going to keep so many superstars. Who do you cut between Derek Carr, Khalil Mack, and Amari Cooper? Because those were superstars at the time. I was like, you got to cut Amari Cooper because he's got drop issues.
No, I was okay with him and Mack going because I remember at that particular time, there was 0 teams that had 2 guys that made more than $20 million per year. There were 0. So Derek Carr got at that time we signed him. He was the highest paid quarterback. And we had to make a decision about Khalil and we had to make a decision about Amari. And I feel like Khalil just didn't want to come to the table. And I feel like Amari was just soft anyway. He just wasn't going to fit. And I was okay with getting rid of Amari. Because you're right, he led the league in drops, and I think the year before, I think Crabtree even led. I remember that's one thing about. I wasn't the biggest Carr fan, but Carr had a lot of his balls dropped. Pause.
I know.
That was wild. That was wild.
It's getting that late for you on the East Coast, Chris. That's what's happening.
I like it. Y'all saw earlier what this
I like it.
Like.
I like it.
That thing was full earlier. Yeah. I mean, I think Gruden talked about he basically said he never talked to Khalil Mack. Like he never had a conversation with him.
Right. And that bothers me, man.
But that bothers me on the coach's side.
Yeah.
Well, how do you not?
Well, if you reach out to a guy and the guy doesn't reach back, or if the guy refuses to talk to you and says, he talked to my agent.
And if y'all remember, Khalil Mack and Amari had the same agent. If y'all remember that, and I think they just didn't want to play ball at that time.
What makes me mad about that situation more than anything is just that we completely wasted those draft picks. That doesn't more anything.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
We
Look,
wasted
look,
those
look,
draft
look,
picks.
look.
That's
Them draft picks
stop it.
became what? Them draft picks was
Hold on, Chris. Like
what?
you
Abram?
Josh Jacobs,
severe. You're gonna make us empty another bottle.
Jonathan Abram,
Jonathan Abram and
Josh Jacobs, Jonathan Abram, and I want to say
Damon Arnett.
Damon Arnett. Damon Arnett.
Those are completely waste of the draft picks, bro.
Damon Arnett is probably the worst draft pick.
Can I tell y'all why?
I don't know how many years, but
man,
that's bad.
Can I tell y'all why though? I live in Ohio. All my friends are Buckeye fans.
Yeah.
Damon Arnett quit football. I think his junior year. He quit. The Buckeyes.
Yes.
He literally quit. He told them, I don't want to play no more. The coaches had to talk him into coming back. That is like that right there lets me know Mayock and Gruden, y'all did not do your due diligence. This guy doesn't love ball. He don't love ball. He wants to be a rapper.
Yeah, he was trash for that too.
And he was trash. He was worse than Waller. Shout out to Wall Street. Get his album in stores now. Herpto.
But that's the thing, right? I mean, those draft picks transitioned into nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay. We got a year or so out of Josh Jacobs. That was tough. That was tough to swallow because you look back at how many first round draft picks Gruden had. I mean, the word he screwed on first round draft picks, but I'll tell you though, the one that was shocking to me and it turned out to be absolutely horrible was the Lynn Bowden Jr. pick.
Oh, Lynn Bowden Jr. Yeah,
that's another one.
Hey, Ohio.
Hold on, he's from Ohio. Before we drafted him, it was after he drafted him. He got caught in a crack house in Youngstown, Ohio.
Yeah, that was at his grandma. Like Lynn Bowden
at his grandma's a crack house. What are we doing?
So I will say this because before that draft came out, I had
crack house.
I had some sleepers. I had some sleeper guys in the draft who were like late round picks who I thought would be like, hey, you know what? We take these guys in the 4th or 5th round. I wouldn't mind it. Lynn Bowden Jr. was one of those guys, but at slot receiver, not at running back. Like I didn't think we made him a running back. But he was and another guy I had on that list. Another guy I had on that list was Amik Robertson, who he coincidentally ended up taking too. But Lynn Bowden Jr. was a dog at Kentucky. He played slot receiver, and then they needed him to play quarterback, and he played. No, well, he started out a receiver. Then all the quarterbacks got hurt. So there's like,
and then we moved into running back.
Yeah, we moved into running back during COVID. Like during COVID, that's what made it worse. It's like during the time when we have the least in-person coaching and we have like everything is the most hands off. We try to change some positions. And what made me mad about that, and Brian Edwards too, is I didn't like Brian Edwards either. Because that year, that year, ironically, there was a dude that went to Michigan who was the #1 wide receiver recruit that y'all had. And he didn't really ball out at Michigan that much, but Donovan Peoples-Jones.
Oh,
I like Donovan Peoples-Jones.
He was
be nice.
You're right. He was a 5-star, and he was from Detroit. Was Cos Tech, I believe, and he was like a #1 receiver coming out of high school.
Yeah,
he was supposed to be a beast. He never panned out.
The #1 receiver. I want to say.
He was. But honestly, that was during the time Michigan we was kind of in. But honestly, he went to the Browns and had a couple good years.
He had a couple good years.
Yeah,
he was better than Brian Edwards. That's for damn sure.
Way better.
So I mean, that entire draft was wasted, man. Because Ruggs. I liked Ruggs. I thought Ruggs was gonna be a dog.
Should have got CD.
I like Ruggs. I didn't mind taking Ruggs first. I thought Ruggs was gonna be a dog.
I was pissed.
I thought Ruggs was gonna be my top 3 receivers that year were CD 1. Jets 2, and then Henry Ruggs 3. I didn't like Judy. I thought he was soft.
I like Judy though. I like Judy.
I wanted to see CeeDee Lamb.
Me too.
Yeah, I wanted to see
just because I felt like he was just the better overall
Yeah, he
more
was
rounded
polished.
receiver.
But the thing is, he was considered slow. If you remember, that they
Yes,
thought he
he
was too
was.
slow. That was his problem. I'm like,
I think he
bro,
didn't.
he's so polished.
He didn't run. That kind of fed into it. He didn't run
No,
a
he
40.
didn't run, but yeah, but like on tape, it looked like he was slow. But I'm like,
Yeah, but
because
that's
like everybody was talking about. Honestly, everybody thought Judy was going to be the first guy. I was
Yeah,
like, I
a
don't
lot
like
of people
Judy
like
at all.
Judy. I didn't like Judy. I didn't like Judy.
Yeah, Judy got nice feet, but he couldn't.
Yeah.
His
But
hands were sus.
but his feet are on his hands. Though. That's the
Yeah, no, I'm
problem.
saying, but like
He
honestly,
got
like
nice feet, but they're on his
footwork,
hands.
Judy got crazy. Like honestly,
His footwork is
I don't know
crazy.
why he's not considered a great route runner yet. But under the right coaching, Judy could be nice. Judy got crazy feet. He got some of the best feet I've seen in a receiver.
Yeah.
He just
He got
can't
some good
catch
feet.
worth a damn.
Exactly. Nah, but remember though, people talked about Amari like that. Amari was a cold route runner, and
Amari was cold though. Amari was cold in college though.
And Amari
Hey,
had
so
he was way better than Judy. He was
the amount of times that I saw Amari Cooper just in person when I go to games and seeing him run routes.
Yeah, he was way
dirty.
better than Judy. He was cold.
I mean, it was crazy. It wasn't even just on the in routes, the comeback routes and stuff like that. I mean, the way that he twisted guys up going deep, it was nasty.
Was cold. I thought Amari was gonna be.
Yeah, he was good.
I thought he was gonna be one of those guys. I remember when he came in, they were like, "Man, okay, who's gonna be that next guy?" That's when you said stuff about Carr. They're like, "Who's gonna be the next star receiver?" And they was talking about him and like, they think that maybe they were talking about like 3 years from now who's gonna be better. There's like Amari Cooper or Odell Beckham. That's how cold.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, dog. Amari was supposed to be that guy, and he started off cool, but like, but my thing is once we played the Bengals week 1, and Pac-Man Jones was like
dogging him,
like he grabbed Amari's head and like pounded his whole head to the. I was like, "You're too soft for me. You're Charmin. Get up and fight, bro." I ain't gonna lie. I don't care. Like whatever. You just got to beat me up. You got to beat me up.
So to Derek Luden's point, and I don't want to go down this rabbit hole because I know Chris had like a whole rant about this.
About what?
This is a rabbit hole I don't want to go into. But the year before we drafted Cleveland Farrell, we were trash.
Yeah.
And we were going to be trash. We weren't going to go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, we need to just pack it up. Just put in the young kids, let them get as much experience as possible. Try get a top pick because
hold on. So you're saying tank? Say for what it is.
I'm saying I'm saying look, tanking is against the rules. Tanking is against the rules. I'm saying let's evaluate our young talent. That's what
I say. Tank, Samir.
I'm evaluating our young talent. Hey, look, Anthony Brown. We want to get a longer look at you at quarterback down the stretch. We want to see what we have in Anthony Brown. If you lose, you just happen to lose. But
Severe, you're gonna get yourself canceled.
Yeah,
like that. Okay,
805. Do not let him try to talk nobody. He's asking us to tank, bro.
I didn't say tank. I said evaluate
tank in a poetic way.
Evaluate
very
young
poetic.
Talent.
Evaluate young talent.
I like the twist on it.
Like at that point, if
Andres Pete and Anthony Brown, I need you guys to start this week.
I'm starting DJ Glaze and Thayer Munford or Dalton Wagner, and I'm putting Anthony Brown back there. Let's see.
I'm evaluating y'all. Whatever happens, happens.
But what happened was that with this, because I caught this like during the season, because we beat the Broncos. It's like a meaningless game. And I was like, look, there were 2 players I had my eye on. It was Nick Bosa and Quentin Williams. Quentin Williams was my number 1 player, regardless of position in that draft.
Nice.
I had him over Kyler. I thought Quentin Williams was going to be the best player coming out of that draft. Nick Bosa, I guess Nick Bosa is, but Quentin Williams is probably number 2. Well, Max is probably number 2 now because he's like, but he was a back. He was a late round guy. So Max wasn't on my radar, but I thought Quentin Williams was going to be that guy. And I said if we start winning these games, if we're not going to the playoffs, we're going to lose our chance to draft Nick Bosa and Quentin Williams, and we're going to probably end up with a guy like Cleveland Farrell. And what happened? We ended up with Cleveland Farrell.
See, no, I got to push back, though, because honestly, we just made the wrong mistake. If we would have got Josh Allen,
But Josh
we
Allen
would
didn't
have
fit
a
our
different
system.
because Josh Allen should have been a pick. Everyone thought that.
But he didn't fit our system. That's the problem. We had Paul Gunther. Paul Gunther, he needs like those bigger guys. Josh Allen was he's more of a 3-4 outside linebacker than he was a 4-3 defensive
but that's what I'm saying. He could play 3-4 out. He could play a 3-4 outside linebacker, or he could be a 4-3 end. He could have been a 3-4 end.
I don't think he's strong enough at the point of attack. I didn't think back then. I knew we weren't going to take him. That's why.
Honestly, he would have been more of a he would have been more like Malcolm Kuntz.
Because I wanted Brian. I honestly had Brian Burns rated above.
Oh, come on, man!
Above
fast. That's it. He was just fast.
Brian Burns is a dog. I had him rated above, but I know he didn't fit our system as a 4-3 outside linebacker.
Josh Allen was cold, bro. Josh Allen was cold.
But
man.
I had Jeffrey Simmons above what you call it too.
Chris, to your point, I actually had Josh Allen compared to similar to Arden Key, to be honest with you.
Though I loved Arden Key. I loved Arden Key.
I looked at both of them kind of two in the same, like Arden Key and Josh Allen. I thought they were kind of the same, but I had Arden Key, both of them as potential third down specialists. So Severe, to your point, I thought that they weren't necessarily going to be strong at the point of attack, but that they're going to end up being strong third down specialists. That's like pass rush specialists.
Hold on now, but the thing is, Josh Allen was, but he played all over. He was very flexible because he played a lot of linebacker. Like he played a lot of linebacker, but he could put his hand. Honestly, he did. I mean, he's not as talented, but he was damn near like a Micah Parsons.
Nah, he
played everywhere.
He wasn't as bendy as Micah. But the thing about Cleveland Farrell is that like people always be talking about these college awards, right? Cleveland Farrell won the award for best defensive end in college that year. He was the defensive leader of that team, on a team with Christian Wilkins and Dexter Lawrence he was a captain. Let's not act like he was the guy though. Like everybody know Wilkins was a dude. He played Ohio State in the against Ohio State. Wilkins went nuts, bro. He was the leader of the team though. Cleveland was the leader of the team.
Yeah, as a captain. He wasn't a leader for like productivity. But from a captain, he was. But
he won the award for the best defensive end in college football.
Okay, well, Trey Taylor won the best defensive back.
That's why I be telling you about these. That's why I be telling you about these college awards.
That's what I'm saying.
See, so I don't want to hear nobody talk about no damn college awards no more. Then
exactly. Okay. There it is.
Because my guy Leatherwood won the Outland Trophy. He won the Outland Trophy. And he won a Casey Block Award. He won the Outland Trophy and the Casey Block Award.
And the year it came out, he was the best rated run blocker.
Yes.
But to Sam Tanka, right? Like to his point, that was my biggest issue with Cleveland Farrell coming out. Is like he had such a massive supporting cast.
Yeah.
That on that Clemson D line.
Oh yeah.
Who'd he block? You know what I'm saying? And so that was the hard part. Is
Cleveland was eating up Jonah Williams though. That's another thing. Like in that national championship game when they played Alabama, Jonah Williams was considered the number one left tackle that year. And
he gave him work. He did give him work.
Clee gave him work on the field.
But the thing is, if you really watch Clee play, because the thing is, I watched a lot of that Clemson squad, but like Clee was very limited. He reminds me of buddy we got now.
Janarius?
No,
Tyree?
Yeah, because all he really had was a bull rush. That's all. If you think back of what Clee did, that's all Clee had was a bull rush.
Yeah, he did not have that. He didn't
have that hand-to-hand combat. Like he didn't have that much in his tool belt.
Clee just wasn't bend. Clee had no bend. That's his problem. Was he had like no ankle mobility, no bend.
Tyree don't either.
Tyree has some bend. He lacks bend. He doesn't have a bunch of bend. He has more than Clee. Clee was like
severe. I don't see any bend.
Yeah, no, I don't either. I don't see no bend either. I ain't gonna lie.
Man.
Now he got long arms and he's strong. I will give him that. And he's raw, but like he don't got no kind of like
I see him. He's got a bull rush. That's all he's got.
And that's
Yeah,
it.
he got bull
That's
rush. He got
it.
bull rush in the long. And he got that stick move, that long arm, where that's all he got. He started to develop a little bit of he tried to develop a swim move late in Texas
Try
Tech,
to develop a spin.
but
Oh,
a swim.
you
Not even,
sound
not
crazy
even a
saying
spin
that.
move. Not
He
even a spin
tried to
move.
develop a swim. A swim move is the most basic. Look, 805. Defensive linemen usually learn 2 moves very early. It's a swim move and a rip.
In a rip. Yeah.
If you don't know those two, bro,
and the thing is, with a swim move, you better be good at it because your armpit's gonna get swatted.
Yeah, if you're not gonna swim move, then you just stick with the rip.
They're gonna give you a smooth elbow right in your ribs. But the least he can even if he didn't learn like a real move, at least learn like the hump move. Like that's something doesn't require like a whole bunch of that's bigger guys use the hump move. That's what Reggie White's famous move was. The hump move. Like at least you learn the hump move. But
the problem with Tyree is he is very athletic, and so he doesn't even he can have the bull rush, he can have the spin move, whatever. But the thing is that he also needs to understand, when you see some of the DNs, like Max Crosby does it great, is when you come off the edge, you can come off and mirror somebody. You can mirror. You don't even need to make contact. You can mirror an offensive lineman. And the moment they settle their feet, the moment their feet get complacent, that's when you can shake them.
Food. Yeah, they're cooked food.
And so it's like you don't even need to make contact in order to basically set up an offensive lineman. And that's the thing is that's what's crazy to me is Tyree Wilson has one move, and it's a bull rush. But then the sad part is he has nothing off that bull rush.
Exactly.
And so I was hoping to see.
Is pitiful.
Yeah. So to some of the people in the chat, shout out to you guys that are coming in now. We talked about Tyree Wilson earlier. The problem is that coming off of this preseason game, there was no improvement.
Yeah.
He still has that bull rush. He doesn't have that second or third move to kind of put into kind of his recipe of beating offensive linemen. And so yeah, it's brutal. It's brutal to watch. But we're gonna do this, guys. Hey, Chris, it's gonna late your time. It's getting late your time. I know we could talk forever, but what I want to say is, one, chat, everybody that's in here, go to these guys' channels, man. Go to Protect the Shield podcast. Go to Severe Raider. Hit those guys up. Subscribe to their channels. They're great.
It's been a fun show, man. Like, honestly, I love talking ball with cats like you guys because, like, you guys take emotion out of it. Like, you guys talk the facts. Either we're right or wrong, and we can decipher what it. And that's why, like, 805, you guys know if you guys ever want to talk ball, I'll do it all day. Now, you might want to catch me before I do this. Because now I'm slowing down a little bit, but
hey,
I can talk ball all day.
Hey, that just puts you on Severe's level when it comes to Eichenberg. That's just
no. I could never be on Severe's Eichenberg level because the dude could have lost his grandma yesterday. Severe don't give a damn, bro. He could have lost his hamster. Severe is heartless, man.
Hey, look. Like she already gone, bro. He gonna bring her back.
Right, go. She already go.
He gonna bring her back.
You might get on this field, man.
Severe's just like that. Severe's just that's yesterday's news. That's yesterday's news.
Right, that's yesterday's news. She's already dead, bro. She's already dead.
How'd that help you today? God damn it, Severe. No, hey. But shout out to you guys. One of the biggest things is, as we get into the season, one of the things I'd love to do is post-game breakdowns.
Yeah.
And if you guys are down to do it, whether it's the night of or the day after, I kind of broke down earlier in the show just kind of how I like to break down film. That's what I do. I'll rewind it 20 million times because I want to see certain things. And so, yeah, if you guys are down to do some post-game shows and stuff and really break down the film and break down kind of what we see, because I like to get to the technical level of things,
Let's do it.
And I'm game for it. And so, but hey, again, big shout out to you guys. I appreciate you guys coming through. I hit you guys up earlier today. You guys rolled through. You know,
Sir.
Chris, you guys are you're all over it, man. You do your thing nonstop, and I know Severe Pharaoh likes to keep you up late night.
Man,
they be so late, bro. I'll be
It's
wanting to
super late.
support, but I'll be
it'd
like,
be early for you, Chris. It's not even late.
yeah,
It's early in the morning.
yeah, it depends, but like the initial link be good. I'll be like, okay, Severe, or I'm like Severe, Pharaoh, they gonna go at midnight my time. I'm like, cool. By time Pharaoh's done, bro, y'all going on at 1:30 a.m. I'm like, I can't do it, bro. I can't.
But but Pharaoh does a great job, man. He does a great job.
I love Pharaoh's work.
Pharaoh's, man, for the production on the production side, man, Pharaoh's super
mad
clean,
scientist, bro.
Clean.
Yeah, that's why when we did the draft, I was like, man, I'm gonna reach out to someone that's local to see if we could put this together. So we did a live for the draft.
That was so fire, bro. I was so jealous that I was at y'all. I was like, I want to be there. But I was actually at the draft, but I was like, I want to be here with y'all.
You was in Detroit. Oh yeah, I remember the video, man. Yeah. Hey, shout out to my guy Turf, man. I thought Turf had my back. Turf traded on me, man.
Hey, shout out! I love Turf. Man. I love Turf to death, bro. Turf is. I love everybody that's in the Raider content community, but Turf is like a character. Like he got his own character. Like honestly, like they need to make a Turf action figure.
Shout out to Turf.
I love that dude, man. I love Turf to death.
Yeah, shout out to Turf. He's watching Turf. I've never met you, never been around you, but I watch you, man, and man, you're good people.
Good people ain't the word. Turf is funny. If y'all would have been there in Detroit when we drafted Brock Bowers,
I saw the after reaction, man.
Bro, Turf. Turf, no. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Turf is from Texas, bro. Turf was so mad we got Brock Bowers. He wanted to go home that night. We had to make him stay in Detroit. I'm like, Turf, calm down. Nah, fuck that. I'm going home. What do you mean, Turf? You're not going home, bro. You're in Detroit.
That's what I've learned about Turf. Is like Turf.
I love Turf.
Turf. He starts out very mellow.
Oh, don't let him fool
y'all. No. But he's such a mellow guy. He starts out real cool, real mellow. Love the personality. But if you trigger him with one subject that he's all about, let's let it get live.
Sincere McCormick.
Yeah. Sincere McCormick, Aiden O'Connell. There's certain things. And me and Turf, like every Sunday, me and Turf argue. And I love Turf to death. That's my brother, man. I can talk about Turf, but I ain't gonna let nobody else talk about Turf.
Yeah,
I love it. Hey, shout out everybody in the chat. If you guys don't know Turf, go to the Ultimate Raider Fan 32. Shout out to him. Go subscribe to him, man. He does his thing. He does his work. And hey, I'll be honest. I don't know how it works out. I kind of pride myself on how much Raider stuff I got, but man, his background is crazy.
He got a lot of stuff.
I mean,
yeah.
What
he got a lot of memorabilia.
He's just got it staged. That's legit. You know. Shout out to you, Turf, man. But hey, guys, I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys linking up short notice. I just reached out to you guys earlier today, and with the preseason going on, I want to reach out to two people that I thought, hey, let's talk a little technical. Let's get on here. And Chris, to your point, we're fans, but we can also look at it realistically.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I love about it, is that the emotions don't get the best of us. We want the best of the Raiders, but I take the comparison all the time. I treat the Raiders like my kids. I love the Raiders to death, but I will also be critical when I see them screw up. That's just kind of how it is. And so, I appreciate you guys coming up short notice. Chris, hey, it's late your side, but Severe, the night's just getting started for us a little bit.
Oh,
it's
man,
only,
you're right.
It's only 9 o'clock here. You know what I'm saying? But appreciate you guys. Hey, let's link up. You know what I'm saying? I'd love to do a post game. After the Cowboys game, we got the Cowboys coming up next.
Let's do it.
You know what I'm saying? It's Cowboys at home, Allegiant Stadium. We got them, and there's so much still to iron out. Quarterback position, defense on the defense side. O-line's a big thing. We already talked about it. So a lot to look forward to. I appreciate everybody in the chat. I appreciate you guys. Let's try to do it next week. I'm down. Let's make it happen. I had a great show. I had a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys coming along. But real quick, not to take it in.
Myra trying to post the links now.
Yeah. Like I asked Myra to do that an hour ago. Shout out to Myra.
She's getting on it. She's getting
That's
on
okay. She better get on it. She better have my money.
She's doing her thing. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah. All right. She better have my money.
Ultimate Raider fan. She's making it work. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you guys. Hey, let's try to do it next week. I'm down next week. Game Saturday. I actually think it's a late game. I think it's a 7 o'clock game.
Yes. Yeah. I think 8. Yeah. Probably. Let me see. I'll get the official time. Let me see what it is.
Afterwards, you guys stay on for like a few minutes. I got something to ask you guys.
Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm a late night game tomorrow. I'd love to talk kind of some technical stuff with you guys, and so
it's 10 o'clock my time, Eastern time. So 7 o'clock
West Coast.
Okay, cool.
So it's the late game. So we'll see what we can pull off.
Yeah, we'll make whatever y'all want to do, man. Even
as that night or potentially the next day, I'm actually gonna go out to the tailgate. I don't know if I'm gonna go to the game, but I'm definitely gonna be out the tailgate and mesh up with the Raider fans a little bit. But I'm lucky enough just to be local to do it. But I appreciate you guys. You know what I'm saying? Coming on last second. I think it was good. We ranted a little bit, which is always good. We had Severe bring up some old memories because he just got that memory.
Dog, Severe needs to send Tommy Eckenberg's auntie some flowers at her funeral because she died and he don't care.
I'm telling you. Severe's just all about football. That's what he is.
Severe ain't shit, bro. Severe ain't got no heart, bro. No heart.
I have this saying of get in where you fit in when it comes to football, and Severe took it to a whole nother level.
Bro, why ain't you here? Oh man, he had to be the worst teammate ever. Why ain't you here? Your hamster died. I don't give a shout out to
bro. You broke your ankle. Just catch that goddamn thing up.
Go.
Better pour some tussin on that thing.
Tussin.
All right, guys. Hey, appreciate the chat, everybody. We're gonna get out of here. I appreciate everybody. Next week we're gonna try to link something up again. It'll be great. So I hope you guys join us. But again, at the end, like the videos, go to everybody's channel, subscribe to them. They're all great. So appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys next week. We're out.
Peace.